Well, we got Neil Brennan today, Dana. And before we start, I wanted to say our YouTube for Superfly got to 100,000 subscribers. That's nice. Applause, applause.
Wow, here we go.
And a lot of nice comments. People are seeing the clips and they go over to watch it on YouTube, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. You know, we have a known big fan of Superfly.
Who's that?
Joe Biden. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh.
It's the flies. It's like a fly, but Superfly away. It's because of the David Spade, Dan Carney, can't believe it's not butter.
Oh, that's nice that he said that.
Yeah.
And we got Neil Brennan today on Fly on the Wall. And Neil's an old buddy, well-spoken stand-up, has a special out right now. He's had him out before. A lot of fun to talk to and a very sharp mind.
Yeah, very thoughtful person about the human experience. He has a podcast called Blocks. We can promote that. His podcast is about people who have mental health things they may not be aware of. He has comedians on and talks through stuff. So he's very interesting to talk to, just about life in general. Very bright guy and has a new Netflix special.
He's got a new Netflix special out right now. He'll tell you all about it. And I have a blast talking to him. I live near him, so I see him out. But he's, part of the Chappelle situation, the Chappelle Show, co-created that.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone on to do a lot of things. He writes for a lot of people. So
he kind of knows everybody. I think it's because he is so open, about what he's thinking and what he's feeling. And for this particular episode, he'll talk about how he dealt with his depression and how it got lifted with different a method that you will find very, very interesting. That's made him a much more content person.
I'm pretty tight about my craziness, so I haven't been on Blocks, but I will one day unveil my craziness to everyone.
I'm doing a side podcast just called Blocks, and it's literal blocks that you play with on the floor. So it's me with Lego.
I could do that one.
And a guest. The guest and I just build a little Lego village as we chat.
Oh, that's nice. Until that airs, here's Neil Brennan with Fly on the Wall. Let's talk.
I got carded legally by an English-speaking person wearing a baseball cap at age 53.
What? Do we brag about the last time we got carded? Is this a segment on?
We do this with you have Blocks, you have your thing. This is our thing.
Yeah.
Last time you got,
I got carded in Thailand trying to buy a ladyboy when I was. I'm kidding.
Not old
Neil.
enough.
So Neil, we're just
guys. Hold on, let me switch headphones.
Yeah.
Have we ever run into each other? Or are we meeting right now?
No, we have run into each other
just really
at
quickly.
The John Lovitz Comedy Club
in Universal City.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and that's what I thought. And so
I hope there's not another one. Is there another one?
The chain. It didn't turn into a chain as quickly as we thought.
I don't want to. John's a friend, but as a comedian, you're kind of like, oh, you got to. It's at Universal Studios, so you park in Jurassic Park. You got to walk a quarter mile. You go in. It's built for blues. There's a 3-tier thing. So people on the top level are looking down at the top of your head and talking amongst themselves. And the stage is really high.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of surfboards, right? Because Lovitz loves surfing.
That was his theme. Maybe it was left over from BB King, but yeah, John.
Well, yeah, BB King, another avid surfer. He was getting out every morning at 5:30.
Remarkably, very funny. Very funny.
He had a good patter in between, like a
really good patter. And would remember like narratives between. He'd come back up and be like, "How's your date going?" He knew, you know what I mean?
He did crowd stuff.
Yeah, knew how to do it.
Wait, let's keep talking about the Universal Gangplex. 18 theaters. I used to go to those theaters, because and also if you did the John Lovitz Comedy Club, after you'd walk through or swim through the Jaws theme to get there, you could get 10% off at Tony Roma's across the street.
Yeah, you absolutely could.
You absolutely could.
Your primary audience that was available with North Hollywood gangs that would just kind of infiltrate the mall. That was the audience you were drawing from. Other than that, It had good sound. John was very nice. They had good snacks. Trying to think of something.
And they love be like, hey, Garth, what's up, Garth? It's
Hey,
Garth.
Garth.
Hey, you are Garth, right? Hey, baby, you know who this is? Baby, this is Garth.
Yeah, Garth. I
Act
know.
like Garth for a minute.
That's the thing, and it's a good problem to have. But if I try to do stand-up in a traditional setting, say, I can feel the audience. I guess the only thing worse than not having hits is having hits. I don't know what the word is, but they want me to do the characters they saw on SNL. So to our guest today, Neil Brennan, do you have classic bits that people yell out for at this point? Three mics. Do it.
No, I know, but no. What's funny is on the newest tour for the one that's out for Crazy Good, the new Netflix that we're all talking about.
I saw it.
Talking about. Is that true? You saw it? Great.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have.
Anyhow,
yeah.
So
it's great. Great special.
So thank you.
We're going to talk about some of
the. Yes.
Well, you did some stuff I haven't seen before. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I thought was
so
cool.
I'm assuming this will be in the podcast. We're three guys.
Some of this will,
right?
All of it's
great.
on.
The parts where you guys shine, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a show. This basically the act that's on Netflix, and a guy DMs me afterward and is like, dude, it was my birthday. I paid $150 for whatever. I kept waiting for you to show up. Basically, he was upset that I wasn't sadder. He wanted me to be sad like I'd been in Three Mics and Blocks and most of my life. And I wasn't sad enough.
I'm sad that you're not sad.
No, I know it's a party's missing, and we're
I hate that you fix things.
I want to go back and watch just stylistically, or the way your shoulders are, just your physicality. It felt like it was Neil, but you say up front, "I feel good." It's almost like, "Whoa, I can't."
Ooh.
So I could do 2 hours on this. I know you are very aware of psychology and emotion. So for our audience who doesn't know, you've famously been dealing with depression and having this having this extremely successful career in comedy and stand-up. So that's kind of almost illogical in a way, but
no one understands that.
Somehow you made it through that, but then something happened. I've only read your Wikipedia page. So tell us, how did you get less sad or kind of happy?
I got less sad in a very sort of risky way, which is ayahuasca, DMT, and MDMA.
So most of the alphabet.
Yeah, thank you. I got into ayahuasca because our mutual friend Chris Rock sent me an article from the New York Times about ayahuasca and was like, we got to do this, which is, you're old. You know you're old when you get your drug ideas from the New York Times.
Your drug idea.
Right, Rock's like, we got to do this.
Did Rock do it too?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh, that explains a lot.
No, I wouldn't think that Rock would do that. That doesn't seem like, but he's very open-minded to a lot of stuff.
No, he's talked about it in public. I mean, he talked about it on like James Corden. I know he talked about it a few times, but yeah, we did it together, and it was we did it together twice, and it was pretty wild.
I know he likes diarrhea.
No, he loves diarrhea and loves puking, but and it's sort of both his closers, he calls them. And so we did it together twice, and I kept doing it. But he's only I don't know if he's done it recently, but
did you Ron White? Did you guys go to a place or just do it in your
We didn't. Yeah, Ron White went to a place. Me and Rock did it. Spade, we actually did it. Maybe at your old. Remember when Rock was renting a place in Malibu?
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 years ago or during COVID, I think. Mm-hmm. It might have been your old place, Spade.
That you shared with Lovitz and Ted Sarando's spot?
No, that was Lovitz
that was
lived
something else.
right next to Gervitz. Oh, Lovitz and Gervitz.
Yeah, they
lived next to, I don't know. But that was the same beach. Go ahead.
I just want to know, set the scene when you
set the scene.
Hey, Chris, he walks into the place, or what? I want to hear the details.
I mean, now I feel like I'm telling his. All right, so
if it's personal.
No. I don't. It's his. I don't get. He's talked about enough that it's not like that.
It's not illicit. It's in the ether.
Just tell yours. Like, what is it? You go in there and you have a helper, or you guys?
It was a guy. I got a private. A guy came. And he was like a white guy, and Rock was like little Starbucksy. It was, because
he's still funny until this.
Yeah, no, you're still right. It wasn't. We hadn't even done it yet. So then, me, Rock, and then a few friends, maybe 3 or 4 friends of mine, did it in the place Rock was renting, and it took maybe 4 or 5 hours, and it was just a very strong. Have you guys done mushrooms?
I have done mushrooms, but only in my 20s.
Yeah, it's like mushroom. I remember comparing it to mushrooms, and at one point being like, wow, like this is like mushrooms times like 100 in terms of intensity, in terms of like what it could do. So, and then we did it again at another place that was more, it was still in LA, but we did it. It was like me and Rock and 25 white, like crunchy white people.
Crunchy white people. Now you've got this Rock's next special. Crunchy white people.
Yeah, it was like very crunchy white people, and that was and I would say that you would have to ask him about it, but I will say I saw Rock get his ass whooped by the ayahuasca in a good way. He got like, it was wild.
The second time.
Yeah, the second time.
And
so,
I have a question.
Like 15 times since.
I did mushrooms, Dane. I did acid once. This is a while back. This is last Friday. I did acid when I was probably late teens. And I did mushrooms back then. It was the kind, you get in a baggie, you buy from whoever, and then you just eat the stems, and you think they're not working, and then you start sort of hallucinating. And so I was okay with that, but I had to be with other shroomers, my friends, because we were walking on the beach to a party, and when we were around people that weren't on it, we could not relate at all. We ran back to each other. So my experience was, I don't do them later in life because I get scared of getting out of control. Like back then I had nothing to live for. I had nothing going on. It was just like drug me up just for fun. I think I'd be scared now is the point. I think I'd be scared to get like out of my head a bit and be around people, even though you're friends, that would help. But I don't know. It'd be a little scary for me.
Yeah. Were you?
But was it scary at all?
Were you nervous a little bit?
I don't. Well, the thing of it is, I don't do. It's like once you take it out of like a party setting, it can be just different. It'll just be like a different. It becomes like, not to be pretentious, but like it just becomes more like ceremonial or something. Mm-hmm. So I used to do, as you're telling me this, I remember I did mushrooms with Norm, Saget, Brewer, and Chappelle one time. I like forgot about it until you were just talking. Like,
it's a fun group.
It was, we were at like the Mondrian at the Sky Bar. It was like probably 1999 or something. And it was just too much energy. So yeah. So if you're going to do it, try to do it like away from people.
And what does it get you after? So you come out of it, you go.
It like resets it affects your neurons. Like there's a thing called neuroplasticity, etc. Mm-hmm. And ayahuasca in particular grows new neurons. It's the only substance on earth that can do it, that they found.
Mine are dead.
You will grow new neurons. Yeah. So you grow new ones, and it's like it changes your brain, kind of. But having said that, it can also be like very. I've seen people get possessed. I've seen wild stuff. So
did you get What are you eating? Sorry, is it like a pill or is it vegetables or what are you
It's
eating?
actually a tea. It's a tea.
Tea. Okay.
It tastes like espresso.
And are you getting? Do you feel nauseous in the beginning, kind of like mushrooms did, or?
I've only gotten. You get a little nauseous. I will say, Rock generally has puked both times. I haven't. I puked
I'm
once,
not
but
embarrassed.
I drank too much. So what, Neil?
So what? Good for me.
Yeah, I puked. So yeah, so it's a little crazy, but it was effective for me. But I can't say like do it, everybody. It's like
Right.
it can go a lot of different ways. I did it a lot in 2020 and 2021, and this past year I've done MDMA 4 or 5 times, and that's been helpful in a different way.
Why is it different? Which one's for which?
MDMA is Molly ecstasy. You ever do that, Dana?
No.
All right. I feel like a bully. You ever do it? And
Nerd.
Yeah. It's like that's changed me. Also, it's you know what? I'm going to be honest. It's opened my heart a little bit, guys.
Okay.
So
I understand.
That's a good reason.
Good place to be rather than hardened and cynical and being
correct.
Just organically empathetic
to
people and wanting to
which
be nice.
I think, Dana, you are generally you seem very you've always struck me as very empathetic.
I don't know. My wife and I saw across at our breakfast table, took a test, personality test, 10 different types. Okay, blink, just do the question. And then what'd you come out as? Helper. What'd you come out as? Helper. It can be toxic in the extreme, but yeah, my wife and I are very much like after you. People ask me, how did you navigate the Game of Thrones of Saturday Night Live? Because wouldn't you like, hey, you can do that part, but it's not to that level. I also have a competitive streak. But I'm working on that. I heard, too. So.
The late great Warren Thomas told me a story about you in the 90s. And he said that Dana one time said that he wants the audience to die from laughing at him. You want to kill so hard, people die.
Well, I would say to people that I was in that scene in the late 70s, early 80s, and Robin Williams was there briefly and then gone. And then he would come back as a star, Mork and Mindy, and he would create a small seismic event. And I was naive. I just thought, I guess that's where you want to try to get to that if you can.
The most impossible.
What do you think the hardest you've ever killed is, Dana?
Yeah, Dana.
Spade, I want to hear you as well.
Okay, I'll think about it.
Oh boy, that goes back a long time. I would say, for me,
in anything, in a sketch,
I would say, in the early 80s, when I was really doing a lot of stand-up, I had done these goofy pilots and TV shows, and then I was working at this place called The Other Cafe, which Paula Poundstone went, and a lot of people, 70-seater, 60-seater with a big window. And that's where I got so confident doing 8 shows a week that the late shows, I would literally just kind of go with what I wanted to do. And I had so much confidence. I was crushing in that room. And the reason is because I was always a sketch player, but didn't know it. There was no groundlings up there. So I was always trying to do characters in sketch. So in this 60-seater, where there was no hard liquor, was really helpful. In the Haight-Ashbury, where I met my wife, by the way. Those are the best sets I've ever had. Different kind of stand-up. Then
were you doing like what were you doing, like Chop and Broccoli?
Chop and Broccoli came from there. Church Lady came from there.
I can only imagine how hard Chop and Broccoli must have killed in a 60-seater. CB, as it's known, CB. Thank you for helping this podcast.
I know, I'm helping.
So I would just say that, and then what happens is you go on Saturday Night Live and you're not doing as much stand-up. And then they're
Yeah.
offering you enormous amounts of money to play enormous rooms, but you're never really in the shape that you should or could be in. So your act gets worse and the money gets bigger. But
Yeah.
you're famous, so you're riding waves and going to your hooks. But that was the best I ever was for my headspace. And if I do shoot another special, I would have to do it in a 50-seater. That's a tight space, but it's not popular to do that. What your theater? How big was that one? 1,000?
Fonda, it's probably 800-900.
So it felt very intimate.
Oh,
so.
Fonda on
Sunset.
So David,
Yeah.
that's my story. Neil,
David, Spade, when were you crushing the hardest?
I feel like it's any time I'm doing stand-up where they're not filming it for Netflix. And then when they film a special, something happens where the crowd goes, I'm paying to see you. But it just goes back to the joke of whenever most people film a special, it's not their best night on stage.
This was my Netflix that just came out was the 2 worst shows of the whole tour.
See, I'm telling you, it's true. Dana agrees.
It's
something about it.
I had
just
the
never...
same thing. There was a technical issue on Friday night. So that got to throw that out. So you work on it for 6 months and then you got one shot and the audience sees the cameras and the lights. And so it's hard that's why Sandler's special, because he did it all over the place. And you're watching a special and the guy doesn't know he's doing a special. So Sandler didn't know if he was going to use all that. And so that was awesome because it was just he wasn't doing a special. But really, that was your worst set because it felt pretty good.
No, it was. I know it was still very good.
Yeah.
But it was like, and then the thing happens where you're pissed and you can't be pissed.
Yeah.
There's like a party that's like, oh, these motherfuckers.
You paid to see me. Yeah, that's so funny. I'm having a tough set on my special night when they paid to see me. It's not like you popped in at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
I want to introduce a psychological problem based on this and not being able to shoot it 20 times. And it's not a good place to be in. Like if you have the exact same set, cameras are gone, it's just gone, it's Saturday night, and it's a little tight, whatever. At least for me, I might step outside the lines, do a little crowd work, switch up my set, try to work what's been given to me. But when you're out there and you're doing your set and it doesn't help me to be in this linear thing. I feel like it's homework. I have to get to these bits as opposed to I got a lot of bits in my quiver and I'm just out here tonight. So that's another thing to get quiver.
I like that.
Whoops, quiver. There's more arrows. Here's some chopped broccoli. Oh, be careful. The church lady may make an appearance. But that's why I want it to be like that on ayahuasca. Hello.
Yeah.
Besides
me and Spade don't do crowd work. Were there any other suggestions?
I don't really do it either. I don't really do it either, but in a small room, you can really have a conversation a little bit. Should we go on to stand? I'm still just curious how you're
ask I can do an hour. I'll go however you guys want. Just cut it down. I don't
because happiness is such an elusive word. I'm not, and you're just saying you're better. I'm not like I'm still like the joke engine or whatever, still the same, but it's more pleasant to be me. I realized something on MDMA, which felt very forgiving and very open. And I was like, why am I so open now? And I realized because most of the time my brain is just like cortisol and adrenaline. And I'm like thriving in that. And I think that's my personality and that's my outlook. And then I was like, that's not even your outlook. That's just the chemicals you have. So therefore it makes you think it makes you seem cynical and cutting and biting and abrasive. And it's like, that's just the chemicals you have. So I've figured out a way to try to ignore those chemicals and bring in more of like the nice serotonin family chemicals. It seems like a lot of things in life are a little bit like just working it, fake it till you make it. you know?
Yeah, it's just literally, you know what I've been doing, which is the corniest thing in the world, is like I do a gratitude checklist. Oh, 4
I
times
think
a
that's
day.
smart.
Yeah, but like I do it 4 times a day because I
4
will.
feels high.
4 feels like a lot, but because I will forget it, I will forget.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I
You
just
snap
will
right back.
forget and then I start thinking negatively about my life, or like I say it's like I write science fiction about my life, like they're out to get me and Spade hates you, whatever. And then you go, and then I just go, and then I write down like, no, you're a popular comedian. You have 3 Netflix specials. You co-created Dave Chappelle, like just things that are actually true. Like you write jokes just come to you. Your whatever, the attributes of the positive attributes of my life.
You're good at your job.
Yes.
You do well. You know, it's a hard field.
And if you can make a living in the arts or something you love at and make a good living, that's a gratitude check off.
Absolutely.
Right,
Absolutely.
like I get paid to do this. I still go back to that all the time.
Yes, it's very hard.
I'm working right now.
Yeah, it's hard to. No, well, this feels like work, but it's other stuff. It's hard to remember. It's just hard to remember the positive parts of your life because we're like kind of. It's cooler to be negative and look like, oh, this is hard, and I'm like, I'm a soldier, and all. It's like, no, we're all incredibly lucky.
And so, was it your idea to write down the 4 times a day, or is it a therapist?
It was actually no. I mean, like I was aware of it as like a like an Oprah thing, and then I was talking about Islam, and I said they pray 5 times a day, which is smart because it's like you got to remember. And then Rainn Wilson from The Office was like, "Why don't you try doing gratitude 4 times a day?" And I was like, "All right." And I've been doing it like probably 4 months at this point. It's pretty great.
And what did ayahuasca give you? If that MDA gave you that sort of gratitude, and
ayahuasca got me off antidepressants for good.
Really,
pretty big, yeah. And I was an atheist before, and then doing ayahuasca made me believe in a central creation force thing. But it's not like religious or like so. Therefore,
nothing wrong with that. I totally believe in that.
Yeah. I think people get hung up on like, well, what it's like, what franchise do you, believe in?
Right. And that's, it gets to me, we're here. I always go back to that. Like, why are we here? Are we really here? Is our purpose here? What are we doing here? So I just emotionally have to think there's some creative designer, some reason, because it's also more comforting just to, a lot of faith or just belief systems. They asked Mel Gibson, who's a very devout Catholic, and he did, rather than go in defending the religion, he goes, what choice have I got? I did a little Australian accent. What choice have I got? So, it's like, I'm going to be way more content and at peace with myself during this time, this journey. So it's sort of like I'm choosing to be open to the.
Yeah, in a weird way, it is like a self-interested choice because it kind of it's easier if you don't take everything so literally. Like if it's like this is my only shot, and I gotta make the most money, and I gotta succeed, and I gotta on this time, this 80 years or whatever on Earth, I gotta rise and grind, and you're like, or it's like. No, you're part of a bigger.
That's what I say 4 times a day.
I would say,
this is my only shot. I need more money. No, I believe, and I was in my late 20s. I realized there was a higher power than Lorne Michaels. No, I was at 30, and then I said, "There's got to be something above that." And now I'm enlightened.
And we're talking, of course, about Bernie Berlstein.
Those are 2 of my favorite references.
Fantastic.
Neil,
nobody knows nothing. Nobody knows anything in the business. Now give me 10% of your money.
I don't know anything, but listen to me.
But we love Bernie.
I love Bernie.
Of course.
When you did Chappelle Show was, let's say, 2003. Does that sound right?
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. It is right. 2002 to 2004. Or 2002 to 2005.
Okay, so SNL was going, and you guys, did you ever want to write for SNL? Was that even in your possibilities? Or you
we
guys,
had written, yeah, like kind of like me and Chappelle wrote Half Baked in '97, and then
Oh,
Brewer
yeah.
was in it, and
Jim
then
Brewer.
I kind of got. You were doing, Spade, that's when I met you. You were doing 8 heads in a duffel bag, maybe?
Not at the
Is
top
that
of the
true?
resume, but
Joe
yes.
In
Pesci.
Toronto?
That sounds about
In
right.
Toronto?
Mhm.
Yeah, in Toronto. And then I was sort of, and then I met a guy named Mike Scher who wrote for SNL, and he and I wrote a couple screenplays together.
Okay.
And then so I was always sort of around, and then through Scher I became friends with like Seth Meyers and Poehler and then all those people. So I would go to the parties.
That's got something.
Yeah, so that's something. And then I actually, when Dave hosted in 2016, I wrote that week on the show. And it was I mean, it was the week Trump won the election, so it was an insane week to be there.
Oh wow.
But and it was like, I remember I was friends with Joe, so I was like in Joe's office and on a exit polling conference call at 6 p.m. On the election night, and the guy Frank Lutz was like, Hillary's up by 6. Hillary's up by 6 points. It's just like, so then
at 6 p.m. Okay.
Yeah, at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then so as the night went on, you just got to see like what like people transform. And like me and Michael Che wrote a sketch about, it was going to be Rick James doing an update.
I like it already.
Why does of anything with Rick starts with Rick James?
Right. Rick James doing a weekend update. Doing an update about how he realizes that he could have been president of the United States. And like, but we did like 3 versions of it. Like there was like at 9:00, it's like Donald Trump failed at Rick James's dream. And then at 2 a.m. we rewrote it to be like another thing. And then 5 a.m. we rewrote it to like, I could have been president. And then me and Jost at like 6 or 7 a.m. I pitched the sketch of like, why don't we just do a bunch of people watching the returns come in? And it ended up being like the popular sketch that week.
Oh, good.
But we wrote it I mean, again, I'm not telling, it's all these like, it's the same heroism stories all the SNL, like, I'm a hero, and then like, I punched Downey, and then we got the scripted cards.
Ran the cards.
Yeah, and then Wally was like, what is this? I can't even read this. So we wrote that sketch, and it did like pretty good. It did like decent at read through, but it had like some punch, and then we rewrote it.
But some of those are visual, and then they come alive when you're doing them.
What was the through hook of that? Just the
it was literally
like
it was like 7 a.m. I'm really like, everyone's excited, and then like, a couple lines about how
shoes start dropping.
Yeah, 9:30. Yeah, then like, looks like Trump won, and like them going like, what? And then Dave's watching it with them, and then Chappelle had a funny direction for the rewrite. He goes, just make it blacker. So then the direction became like, white people overreacting to a bad outcome, and Dave being black about it. Dave just being like, what the fuck did you like? What did you think? And then Rock came in, then Rock shows up at like 11, like with some food, like what's going on? And then him and Dave are just like play sniper to a bunch of upset white people. But it was funny, like knowing about the show secondhand through Seth and Scher and a few people, but so because I was like writing with Dave, I got to go into the sketch pick thing after read through.
That's a big place.
The inner sanctum with Lauren
club.
Each sketch is a card, and some cards make it onto the outline and some don't. It's a scary place. So you go in
So
there.
I did it's like the sanctum of sanctums, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the center of the Death Star. So I did a thing that I didn't know you can't do. Is I went up to the board.
No.
Yes, I went up to the board, took a card, and said, "I think you should move this
What
here."
the fuck?
Wow.
And stuck, and I don't think anyone had ever done it.
No.
No, I never
And
saw anyone
Lauren-
do it.
No.
I think I paralyzed
And a plus
Lauren.
one.
Yes, exactly. And I paralyzed Lauren because Lauren is, for the many things, he is fairly passive.
Yeah.
If you confront him, none of this was calculated. So I basically hacked Lauren,
God damn.
moved a sketch up,
Hack the system.
And
Pushed
then-
him out of the way.
But yeah, like get out, punch him in the threw him through the window. And then after dress didn't go well. I never realized how shaggy dress rehearsal
How
was.
shaggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It's
fucking,
just
it can be
shaggy.
really some loose ends in dress.
Yeah, like you don't know. It's like, oh, this shouldn't be a television show.
This shouldn't be on its feet right now. This is rehearsal.
No,
It's not a joke, but there were a couple times my first season, I didn't know how it all worked either. I thought it was so bad and so long and so discombobulated. I just thought the show is not going to go on tonight. They're going to have to show a movie or something.
Yeah, they're gonna have to show like The Godfather or something, or like the Lone Ranger or
And
something.
it's so long.
Yeah.
You're like, this is still going. What the? We got to do
It's
the
so
real one in a
long.
minute.
It starts at 7:30. You're like, we're not going to be able to do the 11:30 show. This
Exactly.
is running so long. So after dress, we're in the Lauren's office, which is like 75. It's a fire hazard. It's like 75 people
Yeah.
in this cramped
It is a
room.
fire hazard.
20 by 20.
It's like
Yeah.
Chappelle was actually talking about hacking the system. He was smoking during that meeting. It's a tiny room. And Lauren, I think I did the card thing again.
Jesus, you took over.
And then this is how hard I hacked this guy. During the show,
You gave notes.
during the show, it's like the show's going well, right? It's like we figured it out, whatever. Cut the jokes that don't work. It was a miracle. When you cut the shit that doesn't work, the whole thing is better.
It starts to shine a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at it's 12:45. There's one sketch left and there's a few on the board. And I go, what's next? And Lauren goes, you decide.
Ah, wow.
So I got to pick the sketch, which Seth Meyers was like, I don't think that's ever happened.
Never.
No.
And the way you do it is you have to rush the cockpit on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You rush the cockpit, you wrest control from them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way then you're the captain now.
And then Lauren forgot your name because he's so many people. He's probably, could we have the pin pusher card guy come in from Wednesday? Pin pusher.
No, you know what's funny? I did go back because I'd had a good experience. I went back another week when I think Aziz Ansari was hosting and me and Jost wrote a sketch. And guess who wasn't in the sketch picking meeting?
Yep.
Good.
You know what? I know that since then they have someone in there that pushes a beverage cart in front of the host and his friends in the room. So no one can get to the board. I just like the balls of him going, okay, now it's the air show. We're going to open with Dave's monologue. And you hear in the back, nope.
Not this week, man.
Sorry, that's at the end. Monologue is? Yep.
No, I know. What do you think?
Well, why? That's interesting.
But it was. I've done it. I went back 2 more weeks, so a total of 3 weeks. And by the 3rd week, I had like the classic experience of like the sketch. You have to kind of get they don't pick your sketch, and then like Jost objected, and then some people didn't like it, and then we got it on, but it was like late, and then people objected, and then it got cut Friday night.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I know. It was like, oh, I was like, this is the experience I've heard about.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
right. Ugly. Ugly.
No, it was pretty ugly.
We should take a pause. I mean, this is
and you go, I guess I don't get to pick the last sketch again. Maybe I'll pick that one.
Maybe, Lauren, do I need to reintroduce myself?
Maybe
you just walk around with a pin
who
through a
runs the
card.
show. Yeah.
Lauren, you're spinning a pin.
Like this.
Lauren, I could pick it, please. Is there a donkey's tail anywhere?
This fell off the board accidentally.
Yeah, so it was. I had every experience, I think, in 3 weeks.
So funny.
So Chappelle, just in broad strokes, just for our listeners, the difference between doing sketch in that environment and that whatever protocol you guys had, I didn't really know, but I assume it was pre-tape, not live.
It was all pre-tape.
Yeah.
And the staff was me and him. So it was
wow.
Well, because we had done Half Baked in '97 and it didn't go well. And then we just didn't get what it was. We worked with Bob Simons, who you guys have both worked with, on Half Baked, and we just kind of got mauled by the process because we were 23. So
what is when you look back at, because I've done a lot of bombs and stuff, or I was in them, but was there a flaw in Half Baked, or it was timing?
It was. I mean, I'll clean up our end of the street. We should have just rewritten it more. Once we got greenlit, we were just like, fucking, we're 23. Let's get this per diem in our pockets and get to the Brass Rail, the strip club in Toronto. Yeah.
What are you gonna wear to the Oscars?
Yeah, I mean, we were. Yeah, so
plus it's so exciting. You go, this is it. They bought the movie. Let's go shoot it. You don't think of let's keep.
I
polishing.
do think it had a great name.
Yeah,
Half Baked. You always remember it.
Yeah, that was Brewer's pitch. So so we just should have kept rewriting it, and then there was just production stuff that it was like, by the time we saw drawings and renderings of the sets and stuff, it was all very bright and colorful, and we were just kind of like, is this what you thought it was going to be? Just like we didn't. I think Bob had like the Billy Madison
lens on it.
Yeah, like the Billy Madison color palette. And Dana, I didn't see Master of Disguise, but it looked like you had that. We had it. Adam had it less in Happy Gilmore because it was more exteriors, but he got sort of further away from the sort of the kindergarten color palette.
Cheerful, family-oriented film.
Exactly. We were doing a weed movie, so it was kind of like not exactly right for that. So it's just stuff like that.
So the authenticity quotient went down.
Yes. And by the way, should have rewritten it more.
Neil, you can even get burned on posters because there's a whole art, like a blue background, like it, and I think Tommy Boy has one. A lot of them, there's a system where there's certain colors that make it look like a fun, happy family movie, and there's some that look a little grainier, even on the poster.
Yes, that's exactly right. But then also, were you in Airheads, Spade?
No.
Sorry to put that on you.
Brendan Fraser.
Yes, but Airheads was a little more indie looking. Half Baked had the bright blue background. Yeah, Grass, Dave and Jim. It's like you're absolutely right. Like there's just a bunch of stuff, and I'm not saying that it was wrong. I'm not saying I kind of feel like it wasn't quite right for us. And by the time we didn't have any power to go no. I didn't know that you could just walk up and take the index card.
Yeah,
and
you should have.
It's not actually all the time anyone's fault or a conspiracy. It's just that
no, exactly.
There's subjectivity to it, but I think if there's a through line, let's say you and Dave rewrote it and you had complete control over it, essentially, like the way Adam Sandler does, then you would all your stand up would come into play. Like, well, what's working? But if it gets muted,
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And also I was 23, Dave was 23. We didn't. So then once we got to Chappelle's show, then it was every single decision comes through one of us.
Yeah. And that's why, I mean,
for better, for worse, at least you can take the credit or live or die with it.
Yeah. And so like that was, so it was me and him. We would write, a couple people, a guy named Brian Tucker, who went on to be a great SNL writer, would pitched us some sketches. But me and Dave would always write them ourselves. And so it was, it was just a 2-person sort of black hole operation of like,
how many sketches did you need? Because they were half hours, right?
Yeah, it was 22. Yeah, it was 22 minutes.
One a week?
No, it was 22 minutes. We had musical guests, which would end up being about 3 minutes. So we ended up needing about 4 or 5 per episode. And that's very hard. So
that's a lot.
We had to do 12 episodes. But here's the crazy part: without reruns. So we had to do 12 weeks in a row of 4 or 5 sketches.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where it just becomes like almost unbearable.
Well, just you two. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
the writer's room is too much.
Yeah, just us. So it was, and like you guys said, for better or worse, there's some of it's great. The second season is way better than the first one to me. Just objectively, but yeah, it just became like so the hard part was the pressure and there was no backstabbing. There were no politics.
Okay.
It was
all your
just,
energy goes to the show.
Yes. Yeah. But so it's like you guys got weeks off, but the whole week off, you're thinking about what an asshole so-and-so is, So we didn't have, we had less of that, but it is just like, so hard to do it that many weeks in a row. And then we get, 3 months off for between seasons, but were
you
riding high?
Yeah. When did you go, holy shit, like, we got a hit?
Well, you know what's funny is I way it pertains to SNL is did you guys read that Live from New York book, the Tom Shales book?
Flip through it.
Yeah. So
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Yeah, you lived it, so it's more like, oh yeah, is that what happened? But
oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff you go, well, that didn't happen like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone has
that. For an outsider, it was interesting I didn't know. I genuinely had never, and I love sketch. I wrote for a sketch show called All That on Nickelodeon when I was like 20, before all that stuff. With Keenan.
Quiet on the set.
Quiet on the Set. You may know Quiet on the Set. Dude, that show is so popular. It's number 1 on HBO today. It's been out for like a month.
Not that quiet.
Yeah, it's not that. I had a good joke on that guy that I'll tell you guys off the air. It wasn't about molesting. It was a fat shaming joke. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
But so I never, until I read Live from New York, I never thought about like character sketches or parodies or premise sketches or like I never kind of classified them. So I literally read it. I take it to Chappelle. I go, read this. Like before we'd gotten picked up, and then he was like, oh. So then we started approaching it like, let's do a character sketch, let's do a premise sketch, it was so disorganized. It was such a 2-man operation that we ended up having 2 distinctions of sketches, which is longies and shorties. So it was a pretty
smart
high level operation, but like
high level lingo.
Well, there's also which is done is we used to call them on the Dana Carvey show presentational. So it's like there's a little song or a chiron that kind of gives a joke away, like Germans who say nice things. What I did with Steve Carell. Right. It's his bit. It's just 2 guys facing. You know the premise right away.
Yep.
2 minutes of jokes. Out.
Yes, that's a. I'm glad you brought that up because I remember I went to SNL while we were doing Chappelle Show, and I was like, I looked at Seth and I was like, oh, I now I realize having Chappelle on stage setting the sketch up beforehand does so much heavy lifting.
Yes.
You don't need to spend 80 seconds going like, here we are at a restaurant. I hope nothing crazy happens.
Everyone's wondering where it's going. Like, what's going on? What are we doing?
So he could say, like, me and my wife argue about race and who does what. And then we can go like, so we got to have a racial draft and then toss to like everything's set up. Which again, I think there's like you guys, but Dana, I forgot about how great the Dana Carvey show was until you mentioned it. Congratulations again. That show was incredible.
It's nice to have when you only get 8 shows on the air and you get a nice documentary. Thank you, Josh Greenbaum. That kind of goes,
could be worse. Yeah, could be totally forgotten.
Well, I was going to ask you this question based on you asking, bringing that up because Steve Carell and Stephen Colbert, they were not them. They weren't who they are now. Yeah, they're kind of insecure, but they were great immediately. And you've known Dave so long, and forget how funny he is. Just his stage presence has gone to this other level. I don't know how you've watched this evolution of somebody who's that comfortable on stage and confident.
Yeah, I don't think it's
or has he always been that guy?
It's almost, I mean, he's kind of always been that guy. He was good. I don't know when you guys first saw him, but I heard a story fairly recently where Martin Lawrence, Dave's in high school on stage at Garvin's or somewhere in DC. And Martin Lawrence has done like Do the Right Thing and he's come back to DC and he's doing good. And somebody's like, and Dave's on stage and somebody says to Martin, what do you think of this kid? And Martin goes, I don't know, but I can't stop looking at him. Like he's in high school. That Dave also had a joke that I like telling people, one of his high school jokes, when the show Alf came out. Dave had a joke. It's a good thing Alf didn't land. It's a good thing Alf landed in a white neighborhood and not a black neighborhood. Because if Alf had landed in a black neighborhood, 2 weeks later, you would have seen brothers wearing Alf skin coats.
Alf skin coats.
Pretty good joke for a kid in high school. So like the thing of his, how natural he is. And like, I don't even think I don't even compare it. It's like, well, I'm never going to be able to do that. So it's not even worth emulating because it's
not
like
a lot of people could.
Yeah. Like, do you guys know of anybody that's that? Like, I've literally been having conversations with him. Like, I don't even know when the show's starting. He's smoking, be like, Brennan, you don't know the no, puts the cigarette, doesn't even put the cigarette out, just backs onto the stage while we're talking and gets a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Like, just there's no separation between being a person and being the guy on stage.
Yeah, well, two things that are interesting is to that I guess for a period of time post that show and everything that happened, you'd start to show up in clubs and I would just hear, I would hear 6-hour sets or 4-hour sets. I don't, and so that would get someone confident anyway. But this is what's interesting to me. Like Eddie Murphy is 19. He comes out on SNL. So he's out of a confidence, he's just there. It's unbelievable, right? Yeah. I'll take Louis C.K. just because he's such a brilliant stand-up.
It's an amazing comedian, yeah.
And he's going through the normal thing of finding his way. And then 20 years later, he's at this level that you can only equal it as a stand-up. So it's interesting where people who get it so fast and so young, but we could get there, Neil. You could get there.
We start today. Yeah, we start today.
I have you booked at the West Side. You're going to do a 7-hour set. Neil Brennan and friends, but no one else is coming.
Well, no, but that's what's funny is like you don't. It's like how I would think of it. It's like I have the material I have 43 minutes or whatever Whereas I can't like channel or whatever. Like Spade, you seem like a very bit oriented person. Like you have the time you have.
Yeah, well, I also like to do longer stories now because to eat time also, and to be more personality driven bits, because some bits can be, if you do it about a subject, it might have been trampled on already. But if you talk about your own life or your version of something that happens, that sort of identifies you and your persona. So those stories I like a lot because they can't be really duplicated. It has to be me telling them. So I like those in the act. It doesn't do well
How
for
old
TikTok
are there
clips.
stories? Are there stories that you're doing that you were like, could I do that in my act? Are they new stories, or is it like when I was a kid?
Most of it's new, but I could go back and mine stuff and say this was funny, and I could make it funnier because you learn how to tell stories better. But if it has like little tiny punchlines along the way,
Yeah,
and little tent pole laughs, so it's not just a story. Like Norm used to tell a joke. Johnny went to school, and then it's 15 minutes, and then he does the punchline. So it's kind of a funny walk there through the joke, but you also are like waiting for the actual funny part.
yeah.
But if you can keep a story going like that, I do like that. I also have some one-liners. It's really a mess, to be honest, but it's whatever's funny.
He's fine.
But I don't like doing long sets. I'll say that. I don't like doing hour and a half. I don't think it's necessary.
I don't either. I don't think people want, like, my Netflix is 53 minutes. Like it was an hour and 5 live, but like I'm like, I don't like.
I'm with you.
No, I think everyone's sharing shorts and stuff. I think it just needs Attell, I think, was 35 minutes of stand up, but he had people playing the recorder to extend it to 40. Yeah. So if you go past, we were talking about this, that you can kind of ride a wave to maybe 40, but not anybody has to have that lull. The audience gets tired if you're lucky, from laughing, and then you have the low, and then you have to rebuild. But what I would say about you, which makes you unique, one is the 3 mics thing. It's very original, incredibly fun for a comedian to watch. It's just like, it's, all these styles. And then on this one, I haven't seen anyone do it, but you're just doing regular stand-up. You're killing, but then all of a sudden you're talking about atheism. Your face goes to a little corner in black and white, I think, and then this sort of commercial, this big video collage comes on.
I do. Basically, I do. The premise is religions should make attack ads on each other like politicians.
Yeah, it's great.
And so then I basically do the voiceover in the corner. And
is there a screen in the theater?
Oh, no, there was no screen there.
So they're laughing because of
They're laughing because of the voiceover, and then because this is a visual presentation for people at home, I'm like, why? It's what analogy I always use is television degrades, you can film an amazing thing, and in order for it to work through a television camera and go and work in homes, it has to be so great that it can get through television, like knocks the quality down 40%, right?
Yeah.
And the analogy I always use is SNL musical guests. SNL musical guests live in that studio, I think we can all agree, some of the best shows I've ever seen.
Or heard, too. It's like
some of the best, yes.
Give you the chills.
What I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Literally, someone you don't even like will give you the chills when you watch them at 8H. And then if you're at home, you're like fast forwarding. And that's the difference between, like, television just makes stuff worse. Like in the room, you can feel the bass in your chest. So in terms of like stand up, I tried to do more visual stuff on Netflix because people can watch anything. People can watch Batman Return. They can watch Flip and Fall videos. They can watch the Zapruder film. They can just watch, and they can watch The Godfather 2. They can watch
So
Zapruder's bad quality.
Because it's
not great quality, but you can see it.
No, on TV it comes off very bad.
It's pretty funny, and it is pretty funny.
It's funny.
what I was going to say was then you also did a visual effect where you're like on a big iPhone talking to us.
I'm talking about social media. Spade, you would like my comedy. You should look at it. You would
and get influenced by it. Whoops.
Yeah. I talk about girls on social media and guys on social media, the kind of hustlepreneur thing. And Danny, you know what's funny is I'm doing Hans and Franz. I'm doing the clap. I do the clap basically. And it took me like a year before I'm like, I'm doing Hans and Franz. I just was doing it. And then I realized like, oh, I'm doing Hans and Franz. Without the accent. But I cut to when I'm doing the like, what's up, guys? You want to make money? I go to like a frame, like the 16, the 9:16 frame. So just trying to help myself on television.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's less of a man's. It's less of a TED Talk. It's just less of a one man standing there, nothing happening.
If you do think of that way, because on the last special, when I went into the inner sanctum, they said at max people last 12, 15 minutes. And if you designed your stand-up, like the audience, the physical audience is going to start leaving, you would really front load it. And the way to win the game show is that you keep them longer than anyone else. But about your visual imagery, it's a little bit to me like when David and I talk on this other podcast we're doing where we're just sort of riffing and stuff. And I'm doing a couple of voices. And then we have a gentleman, young person, edit it together and then mix in visual effects to it. And that's your YouTube short clip. Everyone does it. And it's just very potent. Potency is
it's
huge.
Just better. This idea that like, I'm like, I'm breaking the sanctity of stand-up. Like, there's no, like I want people to look at it. I don't like, and all this thing about like, what about the history and your legacy? I love comedy. I haven't watched Richard Pryor in 25 years. I'm not going back and looking in the, like, what about, it's like we have the one Crazy Good was on the Netflix charts for a week. Mm-hmm. I can't believe it was on there that long. Usually it's like we get about, in terms of like Bring the Pain, Christmas special came out in 96, and I feel like it lasted culturally for 3 years. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
it was analog in the 90s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even like Mike Myers was saying like, this is like what this is not the showbiz that we all started, especially you guys who were like popular. Like Wayne, if you were in Wayne's World, this is a little different. Right. So
even like, just a Stark stand-up special, it's like at a certain point it could be Ansel Adams. You just don't want to go. It looks great, but you want to get with the times too. So we have little clips. You got to jazz them up or put words, anything. Just
jazz them, anything.
Just what anything.
Yeah. People are. It's Dana. That's a good way to think of it. Is like, how do I get people to
not walk away?
Imagine them walking out of it. Bill Burr actually said he tries to make his setups sound insane so that people will be like, what? Where he's like, I'm sick of fat people crying. And then you go, wait, what?
Right. Yeah. Every TikTok starts with, this is the craziest thing that ever happened to me. And then they go, let me back up. And you're like,
oh. Yeah. Have you guys know about toes? Well, I stub mine. Has that happened to you? It's incredible. Like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got really rich with crypto. Should I hate myself?
Yeah. No, that's right.
So bylines.
Yeah. Approaching it from like, not even sensational, like, or as sensationally as you can do it and not feel like a piece of garbage. So like that's kind of, or even Sandler's a good example of like guitars, and I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to go over here, and it's just like, and he's got visuals. Yeah, he's got visuals. He's got his closer now with the thank you comedy thing. Like it's like, and he said he had a screen and stuff behind him. So
I totally agree.
Do like, I think it's silly to think that we should just do it the way it was done.
Old fat, a purist. would be the
Yeah, because if
idea.
I'm sure you guys meet people all the time who are like, have no idea who you are. And then you go, I remember there was a girl. I know. Let me slow down. No, there was a girl. There was a girl who wrote on the Daily Show who was a black girl who didn't know that Chris Rock had a show on HBO.
There you go.
Like
easily, yeah.
How? And then you go, well, how would she know? She was 8 when it was on.
Right. Someone said, I know all your shit all the way back to Grown Ups. I'm like, Grown Ups? That was 10 years ago?
I thought I was done by the time Grown Ups came out.
Yeah, I got new Juicy Life on TBS.
My fans have jumped the shark on that. They're like in their late 60s, and they're like, my kids sure are fans of yours. They are.
Yeah.
They were born when Wayne's World was made. How's that possible? But yeah.
Dana, what are the bits that people bring up from Wayne's World now? That like the most common bits? Obviously like Schwing and all that stuff when it's out, but what is the
little ones? If you're gonna spew into this, for me, little Garth things. I'd say for me, it'd be the Dream Girl and being knocked over, and the Foxy Lady Dance because of the Hendrix song is very potent. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but Garth, the shyest guy in town, does this dance. Stuff like that. To get a hit like that is so rare. Talk about gratitude. I'm going to write that down.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. And Mike Myers and I and Lorne Michaels share net profit on the film. And so every year we get checks from that film.
Net profit?
Yeah. There were no gross players. People don't know that. You don't really make money from movies because if there's someone in there who gets 20% of the gross, they'll never turn a profit. But we made it for 12 and it did 200 million, and then it did a bunch on video. So that was kind of cool. So I didn't want to say, but I took ayahuasca right before we got on this.
We're timing this really well.
I'll tell you what I learned from today's podcast.
Sum it
before
up, man.
Before we let Neil go, I'll say,
you guys, I'm trying to think of anything else we should talk about. If there's anything
I was gonna say, I did like that you wrote for Singled Out because I used to watch that show and Jenny McCarthy blew up. That was a cool, fun show. But was there any crazy thing you?
That was my first job in show business. That was my first writing job, and I remember
it was a big show.
It was, MTV. It was like she was on the cover of Rolling Stone. I remember, and the Rolling Stone was a magazine.
Yes, and people looked at it,
and then it was like there were a few cultural hubs, I remember saying during the pilot, this show is very stupid and it's going to be very popular. Like I could just sort of tell, like, oh, this is going to be, I'm so old. Neil, how old are you? I'm so old. I was in Las Vegas the night Tupac was murdered, and I ended up sitting at a blackjack table with Jenny McCarthy all night playing blackjack. That's how old I am. I was meeting Chappelle there, and he missed his flight.
Is that how you mourned?
Wow.
Wouldn't be the first time. I wouldn't be the last time he missed a flight to meet me.
Yeah.
And so I'm quite aged.
Yeah, you're old. And I think your next special should be called Cortisol and Adrenaline. Is
not
that what
bad.
You said? Cortisol?
Yeah, cortisol and adrenaline. Negative brain chemicals.
It should be called Be Grateful That You're About to Watch Neil Brennan's comedy show.
With a lot of extra pictures and words.
Oh, if I do one now, I've been thinking this way anyway. It's just going to be just blasting video and parodies.
It should be. What's the downside?
Yeah,
it's
who
like
cares?
Nobody gets. One person complained, like not even complained. They were just like, it kind of took me out of it. Everybody else knows, like this is where we are. Jerry Seinfeld didn't mention the video. You know what I mean? Like didn't say like I didn't like that. Like it was everyone's on board. Like we have to help ourselves, guys.
I think mine might be called Wait For It because that's what every stupid TikTok says.
Watch till the end. No,
yeah, watch till the end. And then you go, by the way, I like when they say wait for it and it's a 6-second video. I'm like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I mean,
how bad are people's attention span? Like,
wait for 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it's very anticlimactic.
I just want to quickly do a quick test to see if we can bring crazy good
Mhm.
back into the top 10. This is a great special. It's revolutionary. It has video effects. You don't believe
Mhm.
it. He talks about anti-vax people, talks about Joe Rogan. I see. Sex couples, psychopaths invented the world, basically, and drug addicts. They're very, very important. And of course, ayahuasca we talk about on this podcast.
Of course. And
course.
Ellen DeGeneres. I have a joke about Ellen
Oh.
DeGeneres
Mhm.
that
Do you
Spade,
wanna-
I think you will like, and I'm sure Dana likes
Can you
as
say
well.
it right now? Just
Yeah,
to-
I'll say it right now.
It's part of the special.
I basically, people, but like comedians are expected to be leaders now and like morally righteous. And people go, is Ellen nice? I was like, is Ellen nice? How many nice lesbians have you ever met in your entire life?
Jim Jeffries.
I go after Jim Jeffries. Everybody gets a little something. I don't go after anybody. Everybody was like, everyone has approved and thanked me for them. So like, it's all in good fun.
Yeah, and Jim
David.
Jeffries, I don't think him because with his Australian accent, when he first came on the scene, he had like a 10-minute bit. And I remember him saying, I don't like lesbians. You can be having the best day of your life. A lesbian shows up, you're fucked. Something like that. But anyway.
Yeah.
Great comment.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Incredible comment.
Thank you, Neil.
And he's on the spectrum. All right. Great. I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
You were an incredible, easy guest. People who do podcasts are really good guests, I've noticed.
Yeah, I would like you both on my podcast. It's called Blocks. Spade, I don't think you're going to do it. It's a little too emotional for you. Dana, on the other hand, I think is a prime candidate.
Yeah.
And I'm going to send some emails about it.
Yeah.
I would. I have a story.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. All right, great.
Most David has stories too. I don't know. That's a whole nother podcast of whether comedians also have some struggle.
We're all nuts.
I mean, obviously, a lot of people do, but comedians I meet seem to have stories. A lot of them,
Seinfeld did it yesterday, so I feel like Letterman's done it. Letterman's done it, and now I've got Letterman and Seinfeld. I feel like anyone who passes, I'm kind of like, okay, so you're better.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, very
Thank
good.
you.
All right, boys, good to see you.
Thanks, Neil.
Miss you.
Yep.
See you soon on the street.
Miss you. Bye.
Okay, we got John Corbett today. Friend of the world, John Corbett. I think everyone knows that face, that good-looking dude. Mostly Sex and the City, but he's done so much, right, Dana? What do you think?
He's been working nonstop, really, in movies and Big Fat Greek Wedding. He had two huge hits with that. Northern Exposure. He wins the Emmy for that show. We're going to talk about his beginnings as working with Steele, how he weirdly got into acting and hairdressing. I mean, I'm just giving you the bullet points, but it's quite a ride. His obsession with Pee Wee Herman that led him to be a friend of the Groundlings. Those stories. He tells great stories, and he's somebody who's Sex and the City. The new season's coming out soon again, so he's still working hard, and he's a hell of a nice guy. Really, really fun, sweet guy.
Yeah, every girl that mentions him has a crush on him. That's for sure. And he's actually a good dude, so it's good to see it. And also married to Bo Derek, who was in Tommy Boy with us. So here's our boy, John Corbett.
What were you saying? All I saw was John being really animated. I click in and he goes, and so in the end, I got the girl.
I always get the girl in the end. You know that.
I know. First time I met you, you just said I always played the boyfriend. So
I always chase the girl around the kitchen for 90 minutes and get her in the end in any movie.
John and I have something in common. We're both the perfect boyfriend.
Here we are.
You guys played a lot of boyfriends.
We played a lot. Yeah.
John, we'll talk about you for the rest of this, but I have to say, in all my movies and TV shows, I've only been married once. I've only been this guy just like flirting with girls, and it's just like the one part. It just shows how limited I am in acting. But other than that, I guess I could do other stuff. They just have never wanted to.
You can act. I mean,
who? David?
David can act, but you're like, damn, you're.
Listen, David's a fucking great actor.
There you go. Thank you, John.
Yeah. No, I'm serious,
Yes.
man. Here's the thing. I was thinking about you.
Mhm.
I was thinking about both you guys because, you know, we're going to do this thing. So I started thinking about what's interesting in my life. And, you know, it's not just about me, this thing. And I've listened to a lot of your podcasts. So I love it when you guys talk about yourselves. But I mean, I was watching you. We just for fun the other night watched Tommy Boy again because I hadn't seen it since it was in the theaters, and I've never seen it with Bo, right? So we watched it, and man, you know what you reminded me of in that, David, is one of my favorite movies is Moneyball. Right? You guys see Moneyball?
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Jonah Hill,
Love it.
right?
So
Yeah, Brad Pitt.
Brad.
So yeah, Jonah Hill, very funny guy also. But did I could also so easily have seen you playing a role like that in Moneyball. Have people come to you for roles like that, like not just a big broad comedy?
No, I was sort of saying that because I was joking that in movies I'm always single, and I don't know why, but once it started, it was every TV show, every sitcom, every movie, and I've only been married once in a movie. And they're like, "What if you're actually married to a girl? Would anyone believe or understand that?" And so that was sort of my funny thing. But I do have a movie that we're doing in about a month where I sort of have a slightly different part, so that's rare. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm just here to say you are known as like this perfect, cool guy, and every girl I know that I mention, you know, that's sort of your rap is like, oh my God, you fall in love with that guy so easily. So we don't have to only talk about that, but that is a nice rap to have.
Right. And just to complete John's thought about you, David, is I think that your attitude and your rhythm in a comedy, and then put that in like, no one will know this except old people, a movie like Fail Safe, where he's advising the president. In other words, your attitude in a serious scenario played very real would be fun. I said that to you years ago. Now
I would like that.
Now I'm going to control the interview today. So now let me go to John.
Please do.
Dana.
I gave David a compliment.
I love it. Thank you, Dana.
It is it's rare that he gets one. You know, the funny thing I noticed about the podcast is when sometimes David chimes in with something really funny when you guys are talking to somebody on a little bit of a roll, and David chimes in with something really funny, but David just rolls right over it. But then I can hear David chuckling to the funny thing in the background. That always kind of makes me laugh.
Well, basically, I'm interrupting the flow, so I just throw it in like that, and the flow keeps going, and then I go like this. Not bad.
It's really good.
I like that one.
I get into interview mode. You know, I become like Mike Waller from 60 Minutes or something. But yeah, David in the early days was just coming on to this podcast. And so our producer used to count his yawns. Remember that? And then the podcast started. Everyone goes, hey, this is a big podcast. So then David doubled down, and now we're here.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the reason. That's the reason David's wondering why I'm here. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing on this thing? Because
we're not, but go ahead.
Not many people know this, but we are neighbors. Dana and I are neighbors up here in Paso Robles. And we, for a year now, every time I see Dana anywhere, I say, when are you going to get me on that podcast? I love that podcast. I got to get on it. And he's always,
I love it.
He's always saying, yes, we'll get you on. We'll get you on someday. And finally, he just had enough, and he said, okay, you can come on. So that's why I'm here. Well, it'll be about an hour, and then you'll never have to deal with me again, Dana.
Well, the idea is that everyone we mention, everyone knows you. Like, you've done a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know where to start, but I do know a few little things, and you can share these, because I thought it was funny that you come out of high school and the phrase was you work as a Boilermaker, and that leads you to acting. Can you just tell that? So we'll start with that for now, for fun.
Yeah. I left West Virginia right out of high school, I guess around 79, and came to California to meet my dad, who I didn't know because they split up when I was 2. We lived in California actually until I was 2, and then my mom and I went back. And
wait a minute, so you met your dad like at 19?
Yeah, from the time I was 2 till I graduated high school. I saw him 2 times. Just because he was always working, and he had another family out here, and he came for 2 weekends. I think once when I was 7, And
he's busy.
It's a theme on this podcast. David has his story. Most of our guests have an absentee dad. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just say it's. I would love to have had an absentee dad, but that's another story.
Yeah.
The other thing is daddy stays. And sometimes that can be rough. But anyway, so you meet your dad, you're in LA, West Virginia, then what happens?
Well, to your point, man, yeah, I'm so happy. Daddy and I became drinking buddies when I showed up at his door at 18. But had Daddy stayed, man, Daddy was a tough. I saw what the other kid was like that he raised. Daddy was a toughie, right? So sometimes that's better that Daddy takes a hike.
Dana had a toughie too. I had a drinker. So I was the same thing. When I hooked up with him, we started drinking. So that's a good common denominator. Less pressure for them to be the dad. Once you turn 18, there's no child support. There's not as much stress for them. So that's when my dad softened a little bit and started giving me his phone number and said, "You can call me now instead of me calling you."
Yeah. Is he still around?
You know what I mean? No. And now I have to hang up and cry. No, he,
I knew
no,
something was coming.
No, he was great once we figured it out. But I was sort of in the same boat. So I relate. Keep going. I kind of relate to what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah. So my dad was also a big drinker, but a smart guy. He was a nuclear welder. He helped build San Onofre power plant, and he was a watchmaker and really interesting guy. And he let me live with him. And he, I just showed up at his door because I came on a cross country trip with some friends.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Did he look like you? Did you kind of, oh, it's me? Was he 6'5" and did you see a?
We're the same. It was crazy. We're the same size, same height and weight. And, yeah, it was really weird. But he said, "What do you want to do?" Because I wasn't going to go to college, and he said, "You want to be a Boilermaker." For people who don't know what that is, it's like
it's not the top 10 things I was thinking, but okay.
It's not the top.
That's my third choice. Go ahead.
It's crazy. It's you're welders, iron ship builders, steam boiler makers, and so I got in that union, and that's what I did for about four years.
Is it like a lot of welding with the big hat on and with
it's mostly all that.
Well, the helmet.
Yeah, you gotta wear the helmet.
Dana, one of us hasn't been boiling, mate.
Look at these hands. Look at these hands. These are fucking little girl
softest fucking hands I've ever seen.
You know what's bothering me?
Look, a little baby.
I got little girl hands. So
yeah, little baby.
Little soft, little fucking
no wrinkles.
Soft gloves. I watched Raging Bull last year, but now you're a welder, Boilermaker.
Yeah.
You're in a shop. Have you got a really hard ass foreman fucking with you?
Yeah,
Come on, you guys.
Every one of
Corbett, quit gold bricking.
Every one of them has the guy from Full Metal Jacket fucking telling you, let's go.
Full Metal Jacket. I love it.
It's Full Metal Jacket. Yeah, we're working. It's 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. So we're cranking out 60 hours a week. And it's just, it's a tough life. I mean, guys are fucking losing fingers and hands and equipment. And, it's like, get a new guy. And it's like football when a quarterback goes down. It's like, you ever notice how the coach barely even looks? He's like, next guy, get in there.
Yeah.
Get in there, Jennings.
When do you break it to the Boilermaker squad that you got to leave early because you have a cold reading class?
but you wandered off.
You're like, guys, I saw Hamlet last night, and they're like, it's like a movie. And you're like, I think that's my calling. They're like, get the fuck out of here.
That's fucking. That's funny.
Yeah. Tell me about you. You wandered off the job site, I think.
I got hurt. I actually got hurt. I hurt my back, and I couldn't do that heavy work anymore. I was sort of walking with a cane, right? And I'm about 23. And my dad said, go to college. I was living down in Bellflower, and he said, go to Cerritos College. That's where he learned to weld.
He's the best brainstormer we got.
So he wants you to go back to welding school? You got a backpack and a cane. Oh,
no,
go to Harvard.
He doesn't want me to go to welding school. That's where he learned to weld. He goes, just go to school.
Yeah.
Finish your fucking education. And that's where the real, you don't want to do this your whole life anyway. But that little junior college is where I discovered acting. I met some actors who invited me to a improv class. And man, as soon as I walked in there, I didn't act in high school or anything like that. As soon as I walked in there, I just said, fuck it, this is for me. Because I always made my buddies laugh and things like that. And I signed up for all the acting classes. And I swear to God, 2 months later, I'm in Hair. They did a great, production of Hair. Hey, give me a head with hair.
Long, beautiful hair.
You got it down.
That was perfect. Can you guys harmonize?
Yeah.
Hair, hair, hair.
Shining, flaxen, waxing. Yeah.
Everyone's got a bush. Is that one of the lines? I didn't see.
That's one of the lines that they did on Broadway. They had to cut
Why
the
does it
college.
sound like Nathan Lane or something?
I don't know.
I'm gonna sing a song. All right, go ahead. So you're doing Hair at a junior college. You got no other prospects, but you're
hair.
loving it.
I'm doing Hair. I did actually go to Hair school, but I wasn't doing Hair at the junior college.
We'll get to your that in a second.
That's crazy.
School.
What happens? I do it for about a year. Check it out. I sign up for extra work, right? So I start doing extra work. I'm on fucking Chips. I'm on Cagney and Lacey. It's sweet.
Whoa,
did you ever do extra work?
I don't think so. No,
because we were doing stand up.
Okay, so and here's the great thing about extra work. I mean, how crazy is this? I even did extra work on Square Pegs with Sarah Jessica Parker. In I think 84 or 5, something like that, right? Yeah. And so here's the great thing about extra work. If you show up and just shut the fuck up and mind your business and open your eyes, you can learn.
Get paid.
You get paid. $35 a day. I remember the extra pay. You can learn a lot. You can learn what this guy's doing holding this microphone and what a key grip is. And that's what I did. I used that as I knew what everybody did by the time I got my first, one line on a movie. So it was great.
The real stuff. Sorry to interrupt you, Joe, but it made me think that's really how you learn just how an actual set works, not acting class, where you go, oh, they do a few takes. That guy comes over and tells them they change their delivery. Okay, that seemed to work better. So you realize, oh, this is how fast it works. This is how people get talked to. This is the hierarchy. And then when you get on a set, you're not totally blindsided like we all were.
Or intimidated by that environment,
I was, oh my God, after like 2 years of extra work, and still hadn't really gotten, here's the great thing too about, we all have this feeling, right? When you're an extra, you just know somebody's going to see your potential and see the star. That guy is a star, man. It's going to happen, and it just it never does, right? But by the end of like 2 years of doing extra work, man, you could put me in a scene with Robert De Niro, even though I'd never been on camera except as an extra, and I had just had so much confidence of being on the set. You're right, David. It gives you so much confidence.
Well, it's kind of like it's magic in a way. And then if you're watching actors and you go, oh, they're just talking and that they're just repeating. I mean, I did a movie with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. I was so fucking scared. And then we're doing a scene and it's like, I'm telling you where to rub the train. And he just said it like that. Then he said it like that 10 more times. And then Kirk Douglas, I think we got to rub the train. So I was like, this is Kirk Douglas and Burt Lancaster. I mean, that's it?
Yeah. But if you're reading a script along, Dana, like I've done this where I had 2 lines and something. So I'm just sort of reading the script, watching from the side. And the way they do it compared to how it is on where I read it in my head, I go, oh, they're putting a little spin on that. Oh, that's not how I pictured that line. Oh, they went down on that. And that's kind of little things you pick up. You go, oh, like you do in acting class. You learn stuff you don't even think you would learn. And you go, oh, that helped me.
But check this out, though. Here's the thing. When did you find this with Kirk Douglas and Lancaster?
Burt Lancaster. Yeah.
Burt Lancaster. When you get on the set, David, even if you've had a month's worth of acting classes, right? You can now do a monologue. You can do a fucking scene. When you get on set and you see that these guys can't even say 2 fucking lines without fucking it up. Like,
no,
I just worked in the steel factory 60 hours a week. That's hard work. These guys can't even string 2 lines together. And when you see, it's just, that's just the way it is. I'm sort of
laziness, the blatant laziness.
If you can act, this is for kids listening. If you can act for 20 seconds,
that's it.
You can own Hollywood.
Yeah.
All you need is 20 seconds. Cut.
Sure. And it doesn't hurt your back usually. So you're like, why was I doing that other bullshit?
Yeah. It's a 20-second increment kind of deal. So would you ask me what left? So my teacher came to me and she said, her name was Georgia Well. And she said, "Look, I think you can."
And you're like, and that was the beginning of every girl hitting on me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to the ladies later, but he's happily married.
Yes,
now.
I know.
Okay, go ahead.
I love Bo. Yeah.
She says, "Bo's the best." She says, "You gotta. I think you could do this, but you got. I'm living 30 miles south of Hollywood, and I've been there 4 years. Been to Hollywood twice. Once to walk around and look at the stars on Hollywood Boulevard, and another time to see a taping of Family Feud with Richard Dawson, right? That's my
wow.
Yeah, it might as well be 300 miles away when you live down Long Beach.
Yeah.
You just never go.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Go to Shakey's Pizza Parlor? I mean, there's nothing there. And she said, I had a nice. I mean, I was making $20 an hour in 1980 working that steel factory. I had a nice little condo. She says, you gotta move up there and you gotta take acting classes because time's ticking. You should have started this at 18. And I did it. I fucking moved to Westwood.
It's scary, but that's probably the best advice. Yeah.
If she didn't give me that advice, that we wouldn't be talking right now. It just would have never happened. I would have been too afraid to make a big move like that. But I moved to Westwood and moved in there was 5 of us, me and 4 18-year-olds in a 2-bedroom apartment. They were all going to UCLA, and I was in the bedroom with 3 guys. I enrolled in hair school. Down in hair school.
You enrolled in hair school, even though you're thinking of being an actor.
I like he throws it in like it's the most normal move. That's probably his dad called him.
Go to hair school. We all try to get I started making handmade gloves before I auditioned for SNL. I had to have something to fall back on. So you're confident, but you go to hair school just in case it doesn't work out.
Here's what happens. So because of the accident, I sued the company and I got a nice sack of cash, right?
Okay, so, more than 100,000 or less.
It was about 100,000, of which I got about $33,000, right?
Okay.
They get some and everybody gets a little. And I got that. But my rent is at this place is $300 a month, with the guys. So I'm doing all right. Good. But the girlfriend that I had at the time was a hairdresser who made it down in Long Beach. She made a good living at it, right? So I know I'm not going to be on a TV show anytime soon. And I think, I like what she does. It's kind of creative. I love shampoo. And I think that
the movie shampoo?
The movie shampoo.
Yeah, the movie shampoo.
In my mind,
great. You're great.
I can cut hair to all the. I knew one thing was going to happen. There was money in people in show business's pockets, and I was going to fucking take some of it out one way or another. I was either going to be an actor or I was going to be a hairdresser on movie sets. I'm getting some of that cash that they have because now. That's looking good, man.
Oh no, John! I just took my hat off because I thought it was rude. I'm wearing a hat.
No, I like it. I like it. I like the fucking height.
Me and Dana have the interchangeable hair, so
we get a lot of heights.
There's nobody you've ever had on this podcast, by the way, out of 150 of them that knows hair more than I do. You
fucking nail it. I love it.
You both have great hair.
So then you become a professional and you're working in a salon.
That's
and you're kind of like, and you're young, strapping young man, 6'5". So you're a little bit like Warren Beatty and shampoo at that point.
That's right.
There's nothing more seductive than cutting a woman's hair.
And you're straight, and that's so rare. So these girls are all coming in and talking. You're just meeting girl. I mean, that's all you do all day.
That is not correct. I am working. I'm working. You guys know where that little restaurant by the Beverly Center is called Jan's? It's right next to
like kind of a casual.
Yeah. Like a little diner, right? So we're sharing the hair school. We're sharing the parking lot with Jan's. It's like, I don't know, Beverly and La Cienega. So I'm right in the Jewish area of Beverly Hills. So every, not hot chickie, but every client I have is a little old Jewish lady who's coming in for a $3 set, right? And I'm going to get a dime and maybe a quarter for a tip, right? So the whole time I'm there, I'm working on 60-year-old ladies
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hair. Setting fucking hair.
We were off by a little bit, John.
I was picturing like the Instagram. I mean, the money that goes into it now with everyone around town. Like, there's so much money being spent on hair and coloring and all that stuff.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
There was a guy at this particular time named Giuseppe Franco. You ever heard of this guy?
Oh, yeah.
Very famous. Mickey Rourke's his best friend. This is 1985.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting $35 a haircut back then. And nobody could believe he was getting paid that much for a haircut.
Yep.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's on Canon. Maybe that's
it's still there. It's still there. Yeah.
You might laugh at this. When I first got a little extra money, I would have someone come to my house. This is me in the 80s, little SNL money.
Yeah.
And it was like $400.
What?
I didn't even. I don't know what I was thinking.
Bill Clinton. Remember, he got his haircut on the Air Force One.
Because it's $400. The guy brings the leather pouch has like 90 scissors in it, and he's going around my ear with little tiny scissors. And I would bleed. I mean, he would cut me. And I'd still pay him, and I'd have to, I was dabbing cotton. Anyway, so you're doing that, and so what's your first move in Hollywood then?
Here's my first move.
What are you going to say?
So back then you had to go into a fucking guy's office and do a scene if you wanted to try to get an agent. Hardest things in the world. Moving to Hollywood, for anybody listening. Here's your two toughest things. Getting an agent and getting your SAG card. They're almost impossible things to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Without help, without some sort of help.
Without knowing anybody.
No connections,
It's an impossible task. But back then I only did it once. I had this old-timey agent named Dick Dunn who referred to himself in the third person as Old Dick Dunn. Old Dick Dunn always returns his calls. Old Dick Dunn. Old Dick Dunn.
I want to make that a character.
I know Dana wants to play him already.
Dick Dunn doesn't do that. Dick Dunn goes over here.
Dick Dunn gets it done.
Dick Dunn drives himself to work.
Old Dick Dunn. Ed, you got to add Old Dick Dunn. You referred to him.
Old Dick Dunn. Okay.
Old Dick Dunn will give you a dick down.
Old Dick Dunn had a farm. E-I-E-I, fuck yourself. So what? So he's your agent now, Dick Dunn?
So Old Dick Dunn, I go in, I do a scene, and he's my guy. And Old Dick Dunn has an office up on the end of Sunset before it goes into Beverly Hills, right across from the old Jaguar place. I don't know if that's still there, but do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Of course.
Check this out. Old Dick Dunn used to say, "Hey, come down to the office today at noon. We're going to lunch." And I'd go down at noon. This is probably this is 1985. Guess who's fucking in the office? And we're going to go down and have lunch at the old Hamburger Hamlet at the end there. Remember that?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I walk in, Vincent Price. So he's friends with Dick Dunn. He goes, "Come on, you're coming with me and Vince. We're going down here." I fucking get to go hang out with a couple times this happened with Vincent Price.
Hi, I'm Vincent Price. No, I don't do it.
I'd like the curly fries.
We're dealing with a very unusual situation. It's slightly Peter Lorre, a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
Hamburger Hamlet had, you were over there by Abrams Artists too, which was kind of by that vicinity. There was La Dome, which someone told me Elton John ate there for lunch once. And I kept going, someone take me to that place so I can see Elton John in real life. And Hamburger Hamlet, Dean Martin was there once.
Oh, did you see him?
Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's like you can randomly, you get these agents that their whole life is based on lunch. They go, "Let's go to lunch." And then they get out and show off their new clients, which you look like a big stud. He's walking around. He's like, "It's my new guy. It's my new guy." But he knows Vincent Price, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So you're hanging out with Old Dick Dunn and Vincent Price in 1985.
Basically DiCaprio's squad.
Here's the fucking craziest part. I looked it up recently because he was such an old man to me, right? He's a little hunched over. I looked it up. I'm fucking 63. He was a year younger than me when we were going to lunch. Vincent Price.
He seemed ancient.
He was a fucking year younger than me. So bizarre. So here's what happens. The Old Dick Dunn he's sending me out for things, and halfway through hair school, I get a commercial, right? So I get this commercial for Samsung Electronics. I shoot it in one afternoon, and hair school takes about a year to get out of. So halfway through hair school, when I graduate from hair school, this commercial starts running. And so I'm working in this salon. I go to work at the salon on Melrose in Bluffton called On Mars. And what our biggest client was this rock and roll kid named Charlie Sexton. Do you remember this kid at all?
Oh, hell yeah. That guy's Beat
Charlie.
So Lonely.
Beat So Lonely. Oh, I love that you know that. Charlie was our guy. I used to wash Charlie's hair for him. I'm making $150 a week in this hair salon, hoping for some walk-ins, which hardly ever happen because it's on the 3rd floor of this building. So
walk-ups.
Yeah, nobody's walking in. So I'm basically
it's too tall. I can't make
fuck
it.
that place.
No, I can't even get up the stairs for my haircut.
No, my little Jewish ladies aren't coming there anymore.
Oh,
now
they're coming. Yeah.
Now I'm in the hip place, but it's all appointments for the 3 other hairdressers that are working there who are fucking booked all day long. And I'm, I'm sweeping up fucking hair and throw it in a trash can and wait for a
split ends of Charlie Sexton.
Is a new kid in town?
The new kid's got to be the shampoo boy too, so I'm shampooing everybody's heads and towel drying them. Here's the thing: that I'm $150 a week. 2 months I'm working in a salon. The commercial starts playing. $8,000 a month I get for 2 months for this thing.
Sweet.
For this thing I worked 6 hours on, and I quit that job and. Now
one commercial.
Did you throw off your? Did you throw off down your scissors and throw? And did you do a Norma Ray? Guess what? You all. So great. That's fucking that. $8,000 a month.
$8,000. That's what gets you addicted. You go, holy crap!
There's money in them there hills.
I'm still in the $300 a month place, right? So.
Yeah,
and I still got a nice little
buys a
stack.
Rolls Royce.
I got I go up
Do you have any shoes with diamonds on them?
Yeah,
and I got a little left over from the sack of gold from the lawsuit, right? So I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to do this hair deal, and I'm kind of going out on auditions and stuff. I got my fucking cheap little headshot, but another mistake, young people who are listening, coming to Hollywood. Just know this, it's not going to happen. You're fucking not going to have a 40-year career where you only get to act and live in a multi-million-dollar house. And that just, it's like telling a kid who's standing in line for the 5 o'clock fucking, comedy store there to do a open mic night. Like, this probably is not, you're not going to do this for 30 years and live in $1 million house. You kind of just got to know that that's not going to happen. It's, for the 3 of us, it happened, but there's so many reasons why it probably shouldn't have happened. Right.
It's a possibility, but it's very, very tough. And they see people like you, they see people and they go, it can happen. And that keeps people going. And if they're good, I think if you're good, someone finds you. Advice I used to get was like, how do you do this? How do you do this? I go, people will find you. If you're good at something, like your teacher realized you had something. And sometimes in comedy, I see people and I go, I think this guy's going to make it. But you can't, it's not just about do it a lot. It is about doing a lot. But if you have something, I think the word gets around somehow.
Right, but it's tough.
It's a long shot. Fuck.
I think it's emotionally violent to do this career. I was in this acting class at San Francisco State, and this actress came in, and she's somebody you might recognize or did a few commercials. First time I'd heard this: if you can do anything else with your life, do that. But if you can't live without trying show business, go ahead. That's how, but she had a cigarette and she looked pretty boosted up. But anyway, go ahead.
Well,
it ain't easy, kids.
Stuff. So here you are. You're now you got a commercial on your belt.
Yeah, I got a commercial under my belt, and I don't know, a year's worth of Hollywood acting classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the mistake that everybody makes. That old Dick Dunn's now, he's got some connections, right? So he's sending me out for Hollywood's such a small little town back in the 80s. It's even smaller now in some ways for, let's say, casting directors. You guys know this. For casting directors, there's fucking 12 or 15 of them, right? So Dick Dunn's sending me out for pilots and stuff because, you know, I'm a tall, fucking half decent looking white guy, right? So back then, that was most of every pilot had a role for a guy like that. But I'm not ready. You know, I'm fucking walking in there.
Too green.
I'm green. My hands are shaking. The fucking script, I'm forgetting where I am. I'm pouring sweat like broadcast news. And the mistake is these guys now have seen me, and you only get that, you know, saying you only get
one first shot.
First shot to make a good impression. So they're never fucking bringing me back. You know, every time I go in there, they're like, no, you know, you can just tell when somebody's ready. You see a guy on any open mic night, you guys know, like, fuck, this guy's got something, or he's got a long way to go.
It's too early.
Yeah, it's too early. So that was my big mistake, you know, and well, not my mistake, because I was learning, you know, but that's my advice also to people. Like, don't come to Hollywood and go get that headshot before you take like 3 years of acting classes.
God, before we get to your success, and exposure and stuff, I know that you did work doing lighting at the Groundlings, and when Phil Hartman and John Lovitz were there. So
this is a fucking great story. Now we got something.
This is SNL, baby.
SNL
adjacent.
This is SNL. Fucking.
So why were you working there if you were so flush and doing commercials?
Yeah, well, you didn't run out of that $8K that got taxed, did you?
It goes like this. So my buddy wants to go see the movies, right? Remember we used to go to the movies and look at the posters and go, oh, let's go see this one, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So we do that. And then there's this movie with this guy, and it's called, you know, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, let's go see it. And I said, no, fuck, let's go see whatever else is playing. That's a fucking kid's movie. He says, I don't think it's a kid's movie. I think it's something else. So we go. It's like fucking that first showing, 10:30 or 11 o'clock. I can't remember what theater, but somewhere in Hollywood. We go see this movie, and I sit there, my fucking jaw drops. I can't even understand like what I'm seeing, right? Because
so weird,
this character is, you know, it's so dimensional. And this fucking guy, who is this guy? We sit through like three of them. We sit through 3 of those screenings. And I probably went back a couple times and took other people. But what you got to remember is, and nobody understands it, you know, today, except, you know, this age range. Once you walk out of that theater and you're going, who's fucking Pee Wee Herman? You got no way to look up who this guy is. You know, there's no fucking little thing you can touch.
Can't Google him.
Yeah, what do you go find information in 1985?
Plus, I thought he's a real guy. I didn't think he's playing anyone. I was too new. I was just like, that's a real guy. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was a Paul Rubens.
That's funny.
There is no Paul Rubens. There's only Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I knew this. You know, we're reading in the credits that this guy's name was Paul Rubens. So we can't find out anything about this guy. And not too long after that, my buddy says, hey, there's this place where this guy named Paul Rubin, who's playing Pee Wee, studied acting and does skits called The Groundling. It's right, Groundlings. It's on Melrose. Let's go fucking check it out. He'll probably be there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I know. So we go there.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So far, it tracks.
It's tracking. We're going to go fucking see this guy. So we go. It's a Friday night. I remember it was a Friday night. We get some tickets. I think they're fucking $7 or $10 to go see the Groundlings. You guys have been to the Groundlings.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we walk in this theater. It's a very tiny theater for anybody listening who's never been there. And at this time, nobody's talking about the Groundlings, right? So now everybody has some kind of reference because of all the Saturday Night Live alum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you know, it's a very small theater. There's an aisle up the middle. It's about 99 seats, and there's fucking 50 seats on each side, up a little incline. It's small,
tiny, intimate,
very tiny, intimate. So we get in there and we're looking around. Fuck, Pee Wee's not here. And the show starts. Sure. I'm sure he's not there. The show starts, and once again, I can't believe what I'm seeing. So it's about a half hour. I'm sorry. I guess it's 45 minutes or so of sketch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they take a little intermission and then come back. And this fella stands up and starts saying, give me a place, give me a town, give me a job. And they're doing some of the fucking best improv I've ever seen, because I have only been in classes, right, with people who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
It looks like a magic trick. It's unbelievable how crazy it is. You go, how are they doing this?
It is a magic trick because they've studied, how to produce the fucking, rabbits from the hat. I mean, the give me a scenario, as is also a trick. It's like you fucking say anything,
Yeah.
But they're seeming like geniuses at this point.
Yeah, of course.
So after the show, there's going to be another show. We're at the early show. After the show, we go out and the audience is clearing out. And this fella who's saying, give me a name, give me a place, comes out in the thing. And I go up to him and I say, hey, I love the show. I could tell he's kind of in charge. It turns out this fella's name's Tom Maxwell, who at the time is like a founding member of the Groundlings and the sort of guy, their director, right, of everything.
Okay.
But I just know he's the guy that was leading the fucking band. And so I said, is there any job that I could do here? I love this. I want to be around this. And he said, he looks me up and down. He says, are you available every weekend? And I said,
Wow.
Yeah. He says, my spot guy's leaving. You ever work a spotlight? And I said, no. He said, can you come tomorrow night for the first show? Get here about 6:00 and you're going to do 2 weeks with my spotlight guy. And you're going to take over the spotlight. I said, yeah. He goes, you're also going to sell candy and beer at the intermissions. And he says, you good with that? And I said, yeah. He goes, $35 a show, cash. So $70 a night. You good with that? And I go, yeah. He goes, I'll see you tomorrow. And I fucking came back the next day and I learned how to fucking do the spotlight, which is much more intricate than you would think, because now you're doing a dance, right? With the performers. So it might have happened before me, but I don't remember, like Lovitz, for example, doing Hello, Master Thespian, Tommy Jealous. So for instance, Hartman would probably say, and now a word from Liars Anonymous, right? And at that beat, it's a dark theater. Bang, that spotlight has to come on exactly where fucking Lovitz is going to be.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I got to know his act, and I got to know what his last fucking goodbye line is, and bang, spotlight goes out, stage is dark for a minute. There's a little booth next to me where guys are also operating the main lights, right? So I got to learn this fucking act, and for the whole show. And it was just fucking amazing. And I don't know how long I was there before one weekend Lovitz is gone, right? It's like, where's John? He's got an audition for Saturday Night Live.
Wow.
Now, in my mind, this is not possible because
someone that you have run across in the world, it might be on Saturday Night Live.
Might be on Saturday Night Live. One of my favorite shows that I have watched since the day it came on in 1975. I believe it was October, because I'm about 14 or 15. And to this fucking day, have probably never missed an episode. I mean, I still get excited when I wake up on Saturdays. I'm not bullshitting that tonight is a new fucking episode of Saturday Night Live with somebody, Josh Brolin maybe. And all day long, I'm like, fuck, it's coming on soon. I'm still like a 14-year-old boy when it's on. Are you guys like that at all?
I love it.
If I go back there, and I hear that theme music, Lauren talks to me and I go in 8H. Yeah, it's heady stuff. There's nothing like it. But the interesting part of that is that you're seeing Phil Hartman and John Lovitz pre-Saturday Night Live working together. And then I think there was at one point you were there, I don't know, around this time, and you were having an argument with your girlfriend at the Groundlings in the hallway, and something happened.
Oh yeah, Dana, sore subject.
What was that story? Just an argument, getting a little loud, and then what happened?
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, that's funny. So So from this time, there's only a couple people that are going to know I was at the Groundlings. Phil wasn't one of them because I didn't have much exchange with him. But Lovitz, Kathy Griffin, George McGrath. Do you know that guy, George McGrath?
He's a Simpsons guy I always heard about.
Simpsons guy, and he wrote a lot of the Pee-wee stuff.
People
right?
thought he's a great writer. Yeah,
great fucking writer, and an even better performer. Should have been on Saturday Night Live. Why?
Oh, I didn't know he's a performer.
Oh my God, one of the best. So, and the back of these stairs at the Groundlings, where you work in the spotlight, goes down to where the cast is. You know, Phil and John would sneak up, you know, individually to kind of watch the show if they weren't on for a while, and I would kind of have this rap with John, right? And so we sort of had a thing. Phil would come up, and I liked shoes, right? I always bought like thrift store shoes, and Phil would always notice my shoes, like executive wingtips or some two-tone shoes.
Oh yeah.
And he'd say, every time he'd say, "Hey, nice shoes." He'd whisper to me because the audience is also sitting right below me.
Yeah.
He'd say, I'd say, thanks. He'd say, "Where'd you get those?" And I like to shop.
He wants a pair.
Yeah. I like to shop at this place called Aardvarks that used to be on Melrose. Right?
I remember Aardvarks.
Aardvarks.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get those shoes, fella?
Yeah, I like the shoes. Yeah, little Chick Hazard in Phil. Yeah.
So every time because as he's coming up these stairs, you know, he's seeing my feet first before he gets to the top. And so every time I found myself like trying to wear nice shoes when I'd work because I thought Phil might notice. Right?
Yeah, what a great reason to talk.
Yeah.
And every time he'd fucking come up almost and he'd look down shoes and he'd say, "Aardvarks." And I'd say, "Yeah, Aardvarks." But I was more friendly with Lovett.
$3.
So
anyway, what about the argument with the girlfriend?
Yeah.
This time I'm with this girlfriend, but this time I'm famous, right? Because I'm on Northern Exposure for about 2 years. Right. So John and Phil are hosting this thing in like Montana, one of these things you guys get paid for to come host a charity event, right?
Yeah.
And I'm with this girlfriend, and we're arguing in the hall, out loud, fucking kind of yelling, and the door pops open, and it's Lovitz, and he says, "Hey." He goes, "Get in here." And so we both come into the room. So you guys do Lovitz all the time, right? And so the world kind of thinks of Lovitz as, you know, jealous.
Hello, jealous. Yeah, that guy.
Right. He's like that on talk shows. So they don't know there's another fucking side to this guy.
Yep.
And Lovitz for about an hour was like a therapist to us, telling us why we should be kind to each other, how to fucking get through this thing. It was like every self-help book you've ever read, because I've read a ton of them, in an hour. I mean, I always remember that he did that. You know that side of him, right?
He's like that. He's like a fix-it guy. If you say something's wrong, he goes, "I'm going to give you a list of 3 doctors that you should see tomorrow. And I'm going to call them ahead of time." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he really gets into things, and he's very like an earnest person.
Yeah.
That seems a little different than his persona.
So you're trying to get the power over. You should accept the power. I could just see him. Yeah.
Why do you fight? You're lucky to have someone. You know, he does get in that. He's not that broad, but he will have a talk with you. I agree. You're right on that story.
It was just amazing. And I bumped into him a few times since then, you know, because where we live, we're just so far out of Hollywood by, a lot of hours. But I'll always remember him until they stick me in the ground that he took the time to be so sweet like that.
That's nice.
He's a nice
John,
guy.
if you're listening, there you go.
Yeah.
So you have such a big resume here. I don't even know where to start.
Let's talk about this fat resume.
Damn.
The first big one was Northern Exposure.
The controversy of with Rob Lowe. I don't know if it's a known controversy, but it's not really. But
hey, wait, let me tell you guys one thing. We shared, the 3 of us shared a space in the early 90s. I think you know this, Dana, but I'm going to reveal it. We shared a space in the early 90s for one of the most iconic things in rock and roll that ever happened. You know what it is, David Spade?
I do not.
The 3 of us were at the 1992 MTV Awards that some people say were the best awards ever.
The one Dana hosted?
The one Dana hosted. I presented to Van Halen. You did skits. You did the welcoming guy.
And a receptionist. And I also I was trying to help write Dana jokes. I think Dana, right? I was supposed to be underneath there with you.
And you did that. I played drums with you too via remote.
Oh yeah.
You got Nirvana. You got
Nirvana,
Black Crowes, Elton John, Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Shit.
20,000 seater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you got fucking Eric Clapton. I mean, it was It was a 20,000 seater. That was
Poly Pavilion.
It was Poly Pavilion.
They were a big deal. That was a big deal.
That was a very big deal. Howard Stern, Fart Man, came down.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Shit. All the same one. Wow.
Yes, sir.
I can't unsee that.
So much more fun then it feels like I don't even know what the MTV Awards are. Do they even do them anymore?
So then here's another 3 degrees since we're in this section.
Okay.
Your wife was on, thankfully, did a part in a movie I did called Master of Disguise, where she starts the movie and runs away in the night and stuff, and then goes in a car, and it's like she goes like this, and then suddenly it's James Brolin. So as if James Brolin was doing a disguise. So he's Bo Derek. David worked with her on Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
And then, so we also have that connection to Bo.
We have that connection.
I mean, you're married to her, but I met her.
I was, so the other night when we watched Tommy Boy, we were talking about some stuff. And I remember on your podcast, somebody, I don't remember who it was talking about Bo's short hair in Tommy Boy, right? Mm-hmm. And that John had said, I don't want you to look like a movie star, cut your hair short. And she said, fuck, that didn't happen like this. Here's what happened. Let's see if you guys know. So Bo is in Paris doing pre-production on a movie, right? That she's going to do a couple months from now, but she thought she should have short hair. So she cuts her hair and she's trying it out. And she said about a week later, she gets a phone call. We want you to offer you this movie. But if you say yes, you've got to get on a plane and tomorrow and fly to Toronto from Paris and start that afternoon, which she did. She said yes to it. And she said she fucking landed in Toronto in the morning. And by the afternoon, she was shooting the swimming pool scene. Right.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
And so
that sounds familiar. Yeah.
So for all these years, as we know, acting, how acting goes, you don't fucking get a call 12 hours before. So she was obviously replacing somebody who,
I was wondering, are you going to ask me who she covered?
Well,
I don't know.
Now we finally know.
I don't know who fell out. Do you know? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Who could beat Bo Derek?
So Bo's fantastic manager, I don't even know if you know this, but was the great Bernie Brillstein, right?
Oh,
it was?
It was, yeah.
Bernie, wow, that's all Bernie. Ties together. Yeah. Okay.
Bernie well.
So Bernie only had 2 women, apparently, according to Bernie, who we've had so many dinners with. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
Bernie only had Gilda and Bo, the only 2 women he's ever represented. I think that's pretty cool.
Shit,
that's him.
That's a good group.
So, David, you don't know who Bo replaced?
If you tell me, maybe it'll ring a bell, but Bo is so ingrained in my head for that.
Raquel Welch.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do I remember anything about Raquel Welch?
Wow.
I don't think I got CC'd on that. Didn't come across my desk. I was in the same boat. They're going, get the fuck over there and cut your hair and go get your fittings and learn your lines. And then they're like, I think we were like, wait, who's the person that's playing this? Who's this? Because we didn't know. We had one girl we knew that we got as the girl that we both flirt with at the pool. But other than that, we didn't know anyone. We didn't know. Julie Warner was in my acting class, though.
Wait.
That's not why she got it, but we knew her. Rob Schneider was in there in Ivana Chubbuck's class. And then, so I was like, when her name came up, I said, oh, I think she's great. She came in, Farley loved her. And Bo came in and, Bo came into a shitstorm. That's so nice. She just said yes, by the way, because it was kind of a gamble.
Yeah. Well, she had time off for this other thing that never actually happened. Here's the other thing. Bo said she was only supposed to be there for a week. She said, I was fucking there for 10 weeks.
On Tommy Boy?
On Tommy Boy. And she started flying home and coming back for just those few little scenes that she's in. She's probably in 5 little scenes. She said she was there for 10 weeks. And I've heard you on the thing saying before how you guys would fly back to do the show and then come back on Saturday night and be exhausted unless Farley wanted to stay and party.
When he wanted to go to the fucking after party, we were dead.
Yeah.
We got to go for 1 minute. Lauren will get mad. I go, Lauren doesn't know what the fuck who we are.
I said, what do you remember about Chris? And she said, here's what she said about each of you. She said, the crazy thing I remember is this is in 95. So it's not like you could get an espresso machine and stuff. Now she said he wanted an espresso machine. And she goes, they got him like a $14,000 espresso machine. And he would drink a bunch of espresso. And then she said his face would just get beet red. And he'd fucking like, you know, pull his hair up and stuff and go like, what are we doing? What are we waiting for?
Yeah, it was she was exactly right. And the first day we had a 3.5-page scene in the diner where I realized he's a good salesman and he's talking to a lady about chicken wings or whatever they are, wingy. And he was doing a shot of espresso between each take. And we were like, Chris, what are you doing? Like, we both didn't really know how much fucking coverage we would do. We thought we'd do the scene a few times. Everyone's like, great job. But that was a master. And then they push in and do a medium shot. Then they push over me and do my over the shoulder of Chris, then a tight, and then turn around and do me, and then me as a wide, and then the two of us in a side shot, and then the waitress this way, and then that way. And we had no idea. So we're there for 16 hours. And Chris is asleep at lunch going, what the fuck? We got more of this? We already did it 100 times. I go,
at 9 a.m.
Yeah, he peaked at 9 a.m. And we said, you can't. I said, I don't think you can have that cappuccino all day. You're going to have a heart attack. I said, that coupled with your salt imbalance leads to a weight problem. And so, so he goes, I got to tone it down. But he would drink all that in the morning, and he would crash so hard at lunch that all the PAs would be like, I'm not waking him up, because you'd hear knock, 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 and you hear, get the fuck out of here. And they're like, they need you. First team. So funny. And he come back so mad and his hair all whatever.
Steam coming out of his
Bo,
ears.
all I remember is Bo was being lovely, and we were nervous around her. And so, but she couldn't have been more sweet. And she might have felt like because she wasn't ever seen that. And these idiots, you know, like this goofy comedy. But I'm glad it actually worked out where she's part of it, because over the years I always hear about it. It's very nice to hear about something like that. I'm glad she's part of it all.
I said, what do you remember about David mostly? And she said, I just remember a steady stream of people. Was eating more tuna fish sandwiches than I've ever seen anybody eat in their life. And he never put on a pound, but he was constantly eating tuna fish sandwiches.
It was the stress of the movie. My weight I was losing was going straight to Farley. So Lauren would say, well, the weight stayed on screen. It just shifted from you to him. But he said, you're like the number 10. It's a little skinny Spade, and then Farley
it became Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah, it was Laurel and Hardy.
It was Laurel.
And through the, you're shooting the movie out of sequence, so we don't even know if it's any good. But we were stressed out of our fucking gourds.
This is a funny thing I want people who are listening to do. So I'm surprised there's not more outtakes and bloopers of you guys, because I looked them up online, and there's really only one little set of like a 3-minute little put together of bloopers, right? Yeah. Unless there's another one I couldn't find. But, you know, when you're making a movie, you're there for fucking 6 weeks, mostly 14 hours a day, and you don't move to the next scene. For people who aren't in showbiz, you don't move to the next scene till you shoot one of the things David was talking about, like 2 people sitting at a table. Yeah. And then you'll shoot the other guy from another angle. And until you get that angle and then move it to another one, you don't even think about going outside to shoot the fucking scene in the rain with the deer or whatever.
Yeah.
So when I watch these bloopers, you know, people who haven't made many movies, it's always,
I know what you're going to say.
I don't know. Listen, it's always fun.
It's always fun.
It's always fun to fuck up and laugh, right? But the more somebody laughs and fucks up a take, the more you got to stay there and fucking do it. And the clock just ticks. And sometimes you're going, man, we could have been out of here an hour, and I'm still trying to do this scene, right? So to watch Farley, you know, be like a little kid, because I was watching you, and you,
I know
you rarely fuck up, but Farley would constantly like machine gun laugh when he fucks up. And sometimes you laugh, but I'd look at your face in some of these and you're just like looking straight ahead, and he's like tapping in your ear with the ha.
I knew where you were heading with that, because I saw the tape once and I was like, oh my God, look at me. Because I'm just staring into space going, we're going again.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can't get it and you can't move on, like you said. And it's 3 hours after we're supposed to wrap, and we have to fly back to New York from Toronto.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Farley, just say it. And he thought it was the greatest joy in the world to fuck up his lines and get the crowd laughing. He's like the mayor of the crowd. He's like, look at Chip over there. He's laughing. He knows what's going on. And I'm like, Farley, keep going. We got to get this. And so I could see some of those we would laugh, and some of those we were just staring into space because we were in a daze going, it's so long. It's so long.
Yeah. And there's one little thing where he's trying to pop that fucking life preserver, right? That in the movie, he just grabs a pen and it pops. But there's an outtake of him, and you could kind of see the anger in him, which is kind of
getting
rare.
mad.
He's like, this fucking pen doesn't fucking work, or something like that. That's
it wasn't sharp enough.
Yeah, it wasn't sharp enough. I love seeing those little intricate things in people.
Yeah, the behind the scenes. There's one time when I go, for some reason, when he goes, Zelensky is blah, blah, and I go, and he seems like a nice guy, and I go, he seems like a nice guy. And then he starts laughing, and then I start laughing because that's a genuine we crack up, and he laughs so hard. And he goes, what a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm like, we got to get that again because it sounded kind of funny. I hope they can keep that because I'm trying to stay in it. And then he laughs so hard. I start laughing.
Oh, people look at it. There's a sweet one too, where you're saying line and then you whisper his line to him and he fucking throws himself down and he's like,
because I would know his lines in my head. I'm like, just say this. And then I say this. And he's like staring into space. I'm like, that blank look. He does not know what's next.
It's so great. Good people listening, just fucking punch it in and watch it. All right. What do you want to know?
Well, these are your tent poles, basically, for the general public. Northern Exposure won the Emmy.
Yeah.
Your first huge job. Obviously, Sex in the City, and then revisiting it now.
Yeah.
Obviously, your time as a rock star, which is really interesting, or a country music star.
Yeah.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding, 1 and 2.
Jesus.
Parenthood. Kate Hudson, Raising Helen, Toni Collette's husband in United States of Terror.
Yeah.
So it's we can't get to all of it, but
that's okay. There's a lot of shit on there. Here's the thing, fellas.
Yes.
It's called Fly on the Wall, right? So you got to reveal some stuff, right? Or else we're just fucking talking.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, I kind of picked. Look, I'm at the fourth quarter of the football game now, in life and in showbiz. And it's just a fact. So I can reveal now, I picked the fucking wrong thing to do with my life, right? I mean, I really, being an actor is for one, since I was a kid, I hate to be told what to do, fucking by any authority figure. So I picked something to do with my whole life for my fulfillment of my work life, which is, dude, stand here, say this, put this on, look this way, say it faster, cut your hair like this. And there's not really, as an actor, in my position, which is, always second, third banana in
hired
something.
hand. Yeah.
I'm not Emma fucking Stone in in pretty
Poor
fucking things, poor things, where I'm collaborating. I'm not collaborating with the writers. I'm just fucking. Have you ever sat?
You feel like a puppet. You feel like a puppet.
But here's the part of the puppet. Have you ever sat in a fucking waiting room of a doctor's office for like an hour and you're going, what the fuck? For me, that's what making a movie is like, because I'm not part of any creative process. And those minutes that we'll do the table and then they say, okay, we're going to turn around. We'll need you in 2 hours. That 14-hour day for those 6 weeks where for anybody listening, it's going to sound like I'm an ungrateful prick, but I'm just telling you, for my work life, I made a lot of money. I live in a beautiful home. People come to me in every fucking restaurant I go in. I'm a friend of the world's. But as far as a fulfilling creative work life, I didn't write one fucking line. I didn't write one joke to make people laugh. So it's been unfulfilling on that level. Like all those things you mentioned. There were some, good times here and there, but most of it's sitting, waiting for them to fucking knock on your door to go, hey, we need you to come back and say that thing again. And to me, man, it's such a boring fucking life. Anybody listening has never been on a movie set. If you came to visit any one of us for 2 days, just 2 of those 14-hour days, you'd say, I never want to be here ever again. This is like watching paint dry.
And it's just human stuff. Did you ever have a director that you felt, because I had this experience in my 3 movie career, was actively had animus toward you, didn't really want to cast you, was kind of subtly sabotaging you? I mean, you get in scenarios where you really feel,
many of them.
Yeah.
But mostly they've got such a, look, I'm not a fucking movie actor. I've been in basically Big Fat Greek Weddings, the only movie. I'm really a television actor. And so, that thing has to move quick, and that guy's got to make a million decisions. Yeah. And, we're not shucking and jiving and going out for wine after. So, I'm just at that point in my life now that, I like being at home with Bo and the dogs, and I don't want to go to fucking Little Rock and stay, even if you're in a penthouse of the fucking Hyatt in Singapore, you're still not in your own fucking bed, and you're gone for 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And for me, I can't, every day is like a guy like marking the wall going like, I'll get out of here soon. So at this point in my life, I'm just gonna just sort of, if something seems really, really fucking fun, I'll say yes. But then I get there and 2 days later, I'm always saying like, why did I fucking say yes? Because also that work life means, at my best, I work 5 or 6 weeks a year, right? So saying I picked that unfulfilling thing to do, like, here's the thing, I have to sit and wait for the phone to ring. And like in 22, it never rang once. So for that whole year, I'm sitting like, how do I get besides playing the guitar and piano at home, how do I express myself? You guys can really, if you want to work fucking 52 weeks a year, you can do it. You can get a guy who books you. You can travel the fucking country. You got to stay in a lot of Holiday Inns, and you got to be on a lot of planes. And do you want to do that? But you can kind of control your own life, right? And work as much as you want. But, do you want to be fucking Carrot Top, right? Carrot Top, not taking anything away from him. Fucking great. What he does is great. But for 17 years, he's been in Las Vegas doing 12 shows a week, pulling a fucking lighted toilet seat out of a trunk. And it's, I mean, how exciting can that be for fucking Carrot
Don't give
Top?
away his closer.
I would just say, I'm going to play something, John.
Oh, let's play something.
Because within all that, which every actor, really, really incredibly successful ones like you've got a lot of nominations and stuff. This is a scene that I saw from Northern Exposure where your character predicts the future. And so I understand why you got the Emmy for that performance. It's not easy. So here it is.
Let me see this
John
shit.
predicting the future.
Okay.
Well, I have to tell you, Chris, I felt a little self-conscious getting these. I mean, technically, I don't need to own my own washer and dryer. But then I thought, why am I being so provincial? It's no big luxury. I grew up with a washer and dryer.
And Grosse Pointe?
It smells new, like a new car. Look, and it's so shiny. It makes me feel, elegant.
That's the self-affirming power of a new toy. That's the life support system of the whole capitalist animal.
Huh?
I mean, when you think about it, the whole material gratification angle is just the tip of the iceberg. These babies here embody the whole woof and warp of human development.
A washer and dryer.
Ever since the Pleistocene era, Homo erectus has been flocking it down to the local creek to beat their first skivvies against rocks, right? Well, what's a laundromat except the same old creek, but with a cheap tin roof over it, huh?
Yeah, so?
But this is progress. I mean, these 2 iron boxes, we've gone from communal suds to private spin cycle. We're on our total blitzkrieg towards isolation.
You think?
Listen to me, the day's coming, and it ain't gonna be long when you ain't even gonna have to leave your living room. No more schools, no more bodegas, no more tabernacles, no more cineplexes, all right? You're gonna snuggle up to your fiber optics, baby, and bliss out.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay.
Whoa.
That is a little prophetic. That's probably 1991 or so.
Yeah, the audience on this podcast will hear it, but I'm just saying, we all have a little critic in our head, but within that the gauntlet you've walked of being in the trailer and being controlled like a puppet, there's some really good work. I mean, you were in the pocket in that moment with that character.
I will say
that feels good.
Yes, and I will say that out of everything I've ever done, that was my first job. I think I was 27 or 8 when I got that. That was my first fucking job ever. I did a Wonder Years, a little guest star, but that was it. Even to this day, that was And funny enough, after 30 years, they just started playing again on Amazon. They couldn't get the rights because of all the music.
Oh,
and
really? Cool.
It just started streaming, which is kind of cool. But that was it. That was the one, because I would, as you know, I would go to work on days off and watch them work.
Yeah.
You remember when you would do that,
Yeah.
right? Now it's
Totally.
like, fuck, I got to work. That was the one where we had amazing writers, and I don't think I could memorize that today at this age. I'd need fucking Marlon Brando cue
That's
cards
all I
everywhere.
could think is, how do you memorize
Oh
that?
my God. I couldn't do that today. But yeah, I know what you mean. And you got to be, for people who aren't in the business and they're going, fuck this guy, you got to be in this business to kind of get a hook into what I'm talking about. And you guys have been just as long as I have. Dana, even longer. I mean, you know, you've put up with all that shit before Saturday Night Live. You know, you were, you know, I'm curious to where your life would have been if Saturday Night Live didn't come along. I think you would have stayed in acting, and fucking good things would have happened there. But I think you would have found yourself, unless you were writing stuff, saying exactly what I'm saying. It's like, Christ, man.
Well, no, I did Blue Thunder. I did One of the Boys. I was completely controlled in these little things and doing stuff I hated to be doing. So, I mean, again, you're living this dream, which we acknowledge to everybody. But right now, there's going to be some hammering at my.
Hey now.
They were
Yeah,
told,
that's right.
Hey now.
my crew was told from 11 to 12 to not hammer on top of my head. So we're at that time. But yeah, that's all very true. But just one word to describe Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah.
One word or three words.
One paragraph, one page.
Fucking beautiful present team leader. If I could do something with just one person, if I had to act the rest of my life and had to pick one person, it would be her, man. I mean, there's something about this girl that's just fucking, you know, I can hit a tennis ball back and forth, you know, if you're not too good. And she'll just hit it back and forth with me all day and never try to fucking slam me one, you know, or anything like that, like some of these fucking actors do that you do scenes with. She's the best. And I get to do it again, apparently, because, you know, I did that reboot last year. And then right before the actors strike and the writer's strike, they said, hey, if we get picked up, would you do it again? And I said, sure, I'll come do some. But, you know, I really haven't heard anything since then. I'm hoping that we come back and do some
Let me
more.
see what's going on.
All right.
Wow.
I'll get back to you.
That's awesome.
Hey, Dana, would you tell me one of my favorite bits is to break this fucking guy complaining story up. Would you tell me the Travolta
Red
joke
Rednecky.
Red Rednecky. That's my favorite. You know, Red's my favorite.
So for some reason, John is a fan of this character I do sometimes. Red Rednecky, the redneck comedian.
Now, what if I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what if you didn't change a word and you did Red Rednecky as our buddy who introduced us, by the way, my fucking favorite guy on the planet, Dennis Miller. What if you did Red as Dennis? What would that sound like?
Oh.
All right. Let's give it a shot before there's more hammering. You ever fart so loud a dog 2 stayed away going, what that? Come and get some.
I don't mind it.
Give me one more.
Asked my mama to wash my tidy whitey. She said, sure thing. I asked her how'd it go. She goes, great. Haven't seen skid marks like that since the Daytona 500. Come and get some.
Come and get some.
I fucking love it.
I asked my daddy what's for dinner. He says shit on a shingle. I said, this day just keeps getting better and better. Come and get some. It kind of works.
Superfly audience. We gotta carry that over to Superfly.
Oh, Dennis is the best. He's so fucking funny, Dennis.
Oh fuck, Dennis Miller is my favorite fucking friend in the world.
He's great. Yeah. So, well, we could go on for another hour and make a 2-parter.
No, come back because you've scratched the surface. And
yeah, John, I mean, your stories are amazing. Really,
I have to say, you weren't complaining there. You were just giving a bleak reality that everyone kind of knows anyway, but they don't hear a lot. And everyone knows showbiz is tough. You were sort of saying parts that were tough. I mean, we all know the glitz and glamour and the money part when it works. but
Yeah.
there's a grind there. It's always a grind. It's not. It doesn't totally just go away.
And okay, now I have to do one more thing. One
Okay.
more thing.
And then
'Cause
I
here
got-
you were. Here you were in control, and then I'll do your request. This is 30 seconds. Greg, could you play the song? In Control, John Corbett original.
You're playing with stuff.
Little Bon Jovi feel at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at this.
Come on.
Star.
Oh, it's a whole video. We're watching a video.
Stories about all the wild women we've known. When the conversation turns to you, baby, I've learned.
Man, come on, man.
Whoa, look at this shot.
That's a whole other bottle of whiskey. That's a whole other case of the blues.
So
That's funny.
there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's written by you. I assume essentially co-produced.
Yeah.
Played the instruments. John,
That's-
look
that's-
him up.
Look me up. That's a lot of fun. As you know, being a fellow musician, that's a lot of fun. Hey, let me tell
I
David,
can't do what I just saw though. But go ahead.
David, I got a catchphrase for you. You need a catchphrase.
Sure.
And you gave it to yourself. One of my favorite things, and then we'll get off. One of my favorite
Yeah.
things you did was you did Norm's show, before
Oh, yeah.
before he passed. And
Yeah.
I love, do you remember your catchphrase for the angry guy? The angry guy? And he goes, hey, how would the angry guy say it when you were talking about getting catfished? And you did the fucking funniest thing. You're like, show me that push.
That's horrible, but
Oh,
yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's a
Show me
great,
that.
it's a great
Oh, they-
catchphrase.
That's the guy that's the dirty pervert that DMs girls and he's too rough right away.
Yeah.
Is that
Would
what
you-
it?
I got a line for you. Would you say this line and then give me the catchphrase?
Go ahead.
Okay, the line is, I'll put this order in and be right back with your drinks, girls. Catchphrase.
Okay, let me see if I remember the catchphrase. Okay, girls, I'm just gonna put your order in and I'll be right back with your drinks. Does that sound good? Now show me that pussy.
Turns into The Exorcist.
I don't know. Puss. John, I hear a lot about that Norm show. I never saw it, but it was his Netflix show, and I heard so much nice things about it. And it's hard to watch now because he passed away, but doing it was funny, and it was really because it was such a ragtag operation, and it made me think that's the way all these shows should be because it was so funny that it was such a fucking
so loose
screw
and
off.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a blast. Yeah. Thank you for
It was great.
bringing that up. And I don't remember that one, and I just did remember it.
Great.
So, and by the way, thanks for coming on. Also,
Yeah.
you kind of stole Dana as my friend. That's fine. We're not going to skim over that. Dana's got a new friend. He's up there having dinners every
I
night,
have an
laughing and
in-town
giggling.
place.
Yeah.
I'll see you next week.
When he comes to see me, he struggles through a dinner, and it's fine. And that's great. But John, you were hysterical. What a blast.
Yeah. Really,
thanks
really
for
fun.
talking to us.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. I had fun. Thank you, guys.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Talk soon.
Bye.